Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you. Hello, Facebook and viewers. This is the Gray Area Media, and this is your boy Ray E.
This is your boy P. Wills.
And this is Ebony.
Ebony in the building, y'all. We have a all-star lineup for you guys today. We understand the importance of going into 2018, and we just want y'all to be prepared for greatness. You know, everybody in this room is a prime example and volunteering their time to come in and give you guys much-needed feedback on how to make 2018 excellent. I mean, Keith Safford is in the building.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, man?
It's all good.
Tony McDaniel.
Happy holidays.
What's happening, champ?
DeMont Nixon.
Thanks for having me.
What's up? He was like, thanks for having
Jermaine
me.
in the building.
Yo.
My man Theo.
What's going on?
And Mikhail back there hiding. Mikhail is the youngest, hardest working dude I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like in the city of Indianapolis, he's probably going to be, of his generation, he's probably going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, because his drive is crazy. You know, so I've been mentoring him for what, like 5, 6 months? And I mean, the dude learns so fast and just wow. You
That's
know,
why
y'all,
we got
y'all,
him interning with him.
y'all look for him.
Yeah.
Look for him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be major. But the goal today is to give people much needed feedback and information on how they can have an excellent 2018. We want to talk about credit repair. We want to talk about financial stability, not being afraid to take risks. You know, like over the years, our people has been like scared to put money, even a little bit of money into something. I mean, we'll go to the mall and buy shoes and clothes and all this and trust that's going to, you know what I'm saying? We know that we can buy that's material, but we can't trust in the building a business, putting money up for our own inspirations, you know, to become something. So today I'm hoping that we could talk a lot about, you know, giving them the tools that they need to be successful in 2018.
Volume, please.
Who's getting ready to get kicked out already?
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's get them out there. Let's get them out there.
Dun, dun, dun,
It's
dun.
all good. Let's start with this. What are some things that people complain about that they can't get done, or like you guys are we all in the industry where somebody wants to get something, but they use an excuse that they can't get it. You know, which is always has something to do with financial stability. So let's talk about that. You know, some of the things that people are making excuses for. And then we'll go into what they need to do to get out of that. So we'll start with DeMont.
Uh-oh. Put you on the spot early.
You are on the
Let's
spot.
go. Wake up.
From Vegas.
I hear a lot of excuses all the time. I think one of the excuses is people are embarrassed. So they're embarrassed about their situation,
Right.
and they don't really know how to fix it, and they're too embarrassed to say they don't know how to fix it.
Pride. A lot of pride.
Another thing I hear all the time is, you know, I'm gonna get myself together soon, but we never find out when soon is. So my motto for 2018 is to get yourself a new blueprint. And if the blueprint you've had for the last 2 to 5 years has not worked, and you continue to do it, in 2018 you're gonna duplicate 2017. So you're gonna end it the same way.
Right.
So it's never. I mean, you have to. People are using the excuse. I'm gonna get myself together. Well, just start today, and that's what I tell people. Like, you can't be embarrassed. You just have to start with what you have. It didn't take you. You didn't get here overnight. You're not gonna get out of this situation overnight. But find yourself a coach or a mentor to help you to be able to change your blueprint for 2018.
Nice.
And who better than to say that, with the program you got? I mean, you helping so many people. Like, if y'all on Facebook and y'all haven't seen the name DeMont Nixon in regards to credit, like, y'all missing out, because he puts out so much information for free. And they have multiple things that you can do to start getting there. Tony.
In our industry, we see the excuses of everybody wants something for free. People always think, well, I don't
speak on that. A little closer.
Yeah, they want the no down payment deals and everything, and can I get this and can I get that? And I tell people, if you don't work for tomorrow and do something for tomorrow, you'll never make New Year's Eve.
Right.
Right. So
can you say that again? say that again, please, Pastor.
Don't wait till January 1.
Don't wait till January. Yeah.
Yes, get in there.
So I say I will do tomorrow what others won't, so I can live tomorrow like others can't. So if you don't take your own initiative, how do you expect us to help you?
Right. And
that's the excuse we get all the time. It's always people afraid you have to pay for knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge isn't free. They preach for college, but that doesn't just mean college. Knowledge is available for everybody in all things.
Right.
And like you said, embarrassment. People are too embarrassed to say I don't have or I don't know. Well, those are the people that get left behind.
Right. Yeah. And Keith, talk to us.
Well, hey, listen, same thing. A lot of people, it's either their finances or they feel like their finances isn't in place so that they can move forward. That's one excuse that we get a lot. Same thing with what DeMont and Tony said. Really, basically, there's a host of excuses. We're here to do away with the excuses, and to help you be ready for 2018.
Right, all these New Year's resolutions, right? You know what I'm saying? We all been there. You know what I'm saying? Next year, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And the year comes through and ain't did none of that. You actually lost some things.
I'm gonna start next month and fix it.
Right. Yeah, you actually lost a few things, which is okay. That's life, right? But understanding and knowing how to bounce back, that's the thing. And then another thing, one thing that I realized that people, DeMont mentioned that people get scared and prideful in regards to their credit. They don't want to tell people what happened to them with their finances or whatnot. People have to realize, and even I had to realize this over the past 3 years, is that you can bounce back and quicker than you realize it. You can bounce back within like 30 to 40 days. I mean, literally, if you take the right precautions, and more than likely, there's some preventative measures that you can do before even getting there. You know what I'm saying? Like paying bills and, let's start there. On time.
Yes.
On time.
Some bills, I don't pay my cell phone bill on time. I woke up this morning, it was off. But anything that reports to your credit.
Flag on the play.
Luckily, the cell phone companies don't report, right? Yeah. Do they report?
Luckily, if they did, I pay it on time.
But
that's funny.
Let's talk about some of the things that that people can do in regards to reversing their problems. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get in debt real fast. A lot of people are facing, losing houses and all these things. Let's talk about some of the preventative measures that they can do before they get to the point where it's out of control. Now you got to find some real help. You paying more money than you could have. If you could have paid a bill that was $500, now you got to pay a credit repair person or pay. What they call it, the bankruptcy or whatever. You got to pay them $1,000-something just to get something fixed that you could have, did
what is
better.
That, chapter 7 or 11?
13.
13. Okay.
And talk about some of the devastations of that as well. Yeah, let's talk about some of the devastations of that. Preventative measures and then the devastations of not doing that.
Well, and we get that in our industry too. A lot of people come, and even if we get them approved, their rate is so high, they have to buy less house because they can't afford it. And then they kind of look at us like, well, hey, we can't control your credit. Well, my score was this. Well, still, your rate is this.
Right.
Now you want $150,000 house, you got to look at $80,000 house.
Yeah.
Right.
Because your
True.
payment instead of being $1,100 is $1,300,
Right.
and you can't afford that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think also helping people stay within their means.
Yes.
You understand that is one thing. We all have aspirations and dreams, and we want things, but we have to scale it back and live within our means. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
When I say
yeah,
that?
true.
It's okay to wish for the big boy house and the 15 acres and all that, but until you are prepared to go there,
able to afford
you
it.
need to stay in your lane. And that's one of the things that me and T try to do with our clients. And that's a hard thing for people to swallow.
Yeah.
And when they realize that, hey, I might not be able to afford this, and we help them to say, yes, you can afford that dream. You just have to do it in baby steps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I mean, a lot of people don't want to like start small and grow large.
Yeah.
You know, they they want to keep up with what their friends are
Yeah.
doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
They want to.
But
They want the 6-bedroom.
in
That's
defense
it, yeah.
in defense for the people that we're referencing to, I believe that a lot of them don't know. So
Just ignorant to
before
yeah.
before I really think, because I think I'm an expert in my area, but before I really took the time to understand finances and credit and all of those things, I really thought that I could afford it.
Yes.
Right.
So I didn't really
Right.
understand that I needed to have at least 6 months of income before I made a major purchase. Like I didn't really understand what a credit score was, and I understood. I've been in real estate since I was 20, but I understood credit, but I didn't understand like that I was paying a lot more than people with
Yes.
excellent credit.
Yes.
So
Right.
even if I was settling for mediocre, which is a 620 or 630, I could still get approved. But like he said, my interest rate was much higher than the average person because I didn't understand it. So it, in reference to people that don't understand it, that they don't know, so that's why I've committed 2018 to traveling and teaching people all over the United States about credit, because people don't understand about credit, they don't understand about finances, they don't understand. They think they can afford it. If they can,
Right.
if they can pay the payment, they think they can afford it. So if they go buy, if they get approved for a house that's $250,000, and they don't budget their money, they don't
Right.
know how to
Right.
save.
Right.
And I'm gonna say we, because many of us don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can't take for granted that people understand certain
Right.
things. We just have to try to teach it to them and give them the resources they need. So
And why do you think that the majority of people are lost on that? You know what I'm saying? Is
I
it
don't
an
think
education thing?
I think it's
Absolutely.
generational.
Absolutely.
It's generational.
Generational,
So
yeah, I'm with you on that.
our grandparents, our parents were not taught that. We're not taught that in school. We're taught to work for people. We're taught to be in
Yes.
debt.
Yes,
But
yes.
we're not
I'm
taught
with
to,
you, yeah.
to be able to
be
position
debt-free.
ourselves
That's right.
to be debt free and to be entrepreneurs. That's not what we're taught in school. So I think that like my uncle, he was intricate to who I am. Like my grandmother's brother, he was old school. He taught me never owe no man nothing. He taught me to always pay cash for everything. He told me that credit was the devil. So all my life, I thought that credit was bad.
Right.
And then I met a billionaire, and he told me that the key to his success was using the bank's money to make money.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
so if I go
Leverage.
listen to my uncle, which I love and I respect, or am I go listen to a billionaire who has the money and has
Right.
been
Right.
successful? So
Right.
it comes a time, we learn everything. We learn a lot in the first 12 years of our life, and we learn from the people that are around us. But a lot of times, the seeds that they're planting, what their parents taught them, who came out of poverty
Right.
situations.
Right.
So we have to. That's why I teach all my members. 16 years old, you've done it with your kids. 16 years
Absolutely.
old, you need to start teaching your kids about credit. You need to get
Yep.
them their first credit card. You need to show them how to use credit, and you need to sit them down. They don't even know. My little brother's in high school. He doesn't even know how to write a check. Like, he doesn't know how to balance a checkbook. Like, I think we learned that a little bit in school.
They don't
They're
know
not
that
even learning how to balance a checkbook or how to balance their bank account. So getting your child a credit card at 16 is not bad.
Right.
But waiting until they get 20 or 30
Till you
is
they can use
bad
it.
because they don't have the fundamentals of it. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ebony, not to put you on the spot, you're an educator. You know what I'm saying? Do you, in your experience as an educator, do you think that there is a huge flaw in teaching the youth finance? What do you think is happening there in that
In
arena?
education?
Yeah.
Well, I was making a comment when DeMont was talking that I remember learning how to balance a checkbook, and when I was teaching recently, I remember walking through the halls of my old school, and it was painted on the wall business, and the other wall, science, and the other wall so-and-so. And I remember this business section, that's when I learned how to balance a checkbook. That's when I learned how to write a check.
Right.
And all that. It's not there anymore. So, yeah, so now, I don't know about HSE. Maybe it's there. Definitely not in, the public schools that I've taught in. So, which is one of those fundamentals. But although I learned how to write a check and learned how to balance a checkbook in high school, even still as an adult, that's something that I will admit that's something that I didn't do too well with later on.
Right.
Because, it was fun, did it for a grade, awesome, probably got a good grade on it. But it wasn't something that was reinforced.
Right. Would you say that there's probably not enough time in an educator's day to even go over that kind of stuff? And even if they do,
there is time.
Is there things that parents can do, like Demont was saying, where we can teach the kids this? Because chances are, even if they learn it, like you said, they're not going to remember it or see how it applies to,
right.
things
And that's
in life.
the thing, applying it, making it applicable. So if you're doing it as a class, just like anything, if you're not applying it and you're not given a checkbook at 16 and your parents saying, look, you're responsible for this bill, and let's see if you can actually pay it every month, parents giving the child the checkbook. Well, not giving it to them, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Making them responsible for that check
Right.
and seeing how it works on a ledger and everything else, then it's not really going to stick because they're not applying it.
Right.
But to answer your question, though, yeah, we can make time. I say it all the time. I will slide in anything in my English class. I already got planned. I'm going to teach them how to read an analog clock because they don't know how to read a clock.
Wow. For real?
For real.
Oh, goodness.
They'll ask me what time it is, and I'm like,
What does the big
and
hand
I'll be
say to the
looking at
little
them like,
hand?
I don't know. And I'm teaching them how to read food labels.
Right.
So you can slide it in,
Right.
especially if you
Depends
have the
on the teacher.
autonomy, right, and the school too,
And the school.
kind of slide things in. But
That's what's up.
it has to be reinforced though.
And it goes
Tony.
back to us too. We have to do better as parents.
Yeah.
We have to
Sure.
do better as mentors.
We have to lead
do
by example.
exactly. We have to go in there and say to our children, say to our community, we will be your teachers.
Right.
We here at the Gray Area Media will educate you if you
sure.
will listen,
Yep.
and we're gonna bring it to you raw 100%.
Right.
And you're gonna either you're gonna either learn something, or two, you won't learn something. So hopefully, we spend some jewels today.
Dun, 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 dun.
Listening to
But that might be me.
The West Coast.
But
way.
That's that.
About to
That's
start
that
crip
Drake.
walking.
That's right. That's that
she
Drake.
walk.
But to add to that, and I know I'm not a guest, so I'm gonna be real quick. Not to put my mom on the spot. Love you, Mom. Appreciate you. But my mother, I used to see her budget all the time. She always budgeted everything, but she never taught me how to budget. But to her defense, I think our parents just looked at it as, this is my job.
Right.
This is my responsibility. You're a child. You do, be a child.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been great, like I said, but to her defense, though, because I could see myself doing that in her generation, not sliding my child a checkbook. But I guess in our generation, because they've lost so many fundamentals and foundational skills, like that's necessary to usher them into adulthood, to give them those adult responsibilities like now.
Right. Right.
Well, what we were saying is, like he made a point, credit doesn't pay bills. Credit lets you get it, but credit won't let you keep it.
Right.
And we talked to Ebony a while back. I give her a shout. We are now trying to turn our program to an educational program.
Okay.
Maybe do a mock program and go into the schools and teach the people. We got
That would
Mikhail
be
as an
awesome.
intern. That he can reach out to people his age,
Nice.
so they can learn how to prepare themselves.
Absolutely.
Do
That's
the
the
mock
bridge.
things, because information is no good if you don't retain. Like you can be a good football player if you don't practice.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
lose it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
we giving it to people, but we're not doing anything with it. So we need to learn to teach retention.
Right.
Retention helps people do. And kids
That's a good
nowadays,
point.
you got to do it on their level. Don't just
Right.
give it to them, but give it to them on their level so they can maintain it. And we as parents are trying to work so hard just to maintain.
Yeah.
We don't have. They seem like they don't have the time
Yeah.
to reach out to their children and make sure they maintain it. How many parents ask the kids what they learn in school today? Probably not. They trying to cook.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they trying to cook. You know, society, they trying to cook. They trying to do this. They working 2 jobs. And
No, but I
kids
see
don't
your
get in
point,
trouble.
bro. I see your point.
I see the point. Again, you have to understand that a parent cannot teach a child something that they don't practice themselves.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
we're back to the drawing
So
board.
true.
So a parent has to make the conscious decision that I'm going to break this curse that's been passed down from generation to generation, and it's not necessarily the curse of poverty; it's the curse of not knowing.
Yeah,
And it's the
is.
curse
Right.
it's the curse of not having the fundamental information that I need in order to succeed. So I continue to live this curse, living not working a 9 to 5, and feeling like I don't have anything left over. When if I research, there are people that make the same amount and less than I do that are doing better than I do. You know, so I think that what a parent has to do is buckle down, get the help that they need. First
Use
step
your
to
resources.
recovery. First step to recovery is
Admitting
admitting that you have
That's
a problem.
Right. That's right.
So you have to get that so that you can teach your child. So Theo, he's over here Chevrolet. He looks at credit and deals with people all the time. We were at Roof Chris. We met this guy who is a young guy, and we were talking about credit and cars and stuff. And he showed us his credit. He's at like 800 and something. So I asked him a personal question. I was like, man, like when did your father? He happens to be Caucasian. I said, when did your father or your parents start teaching you about credit? He said, man, my father gave me my first credit card when I was 16. That's a point right there. Okay, so at 16, instead of buying Jordans and instead of buying clothes and instead of buying PlayStation games, his father was instilling in him the financial part of how
life,
to make it.
Right.
You know, and how to use what you have to build it to make more, and that's a lot of that is credit. So, and the financial part is something that you have to learn yourself. So you have to be committed to teach your children, but you have to learn it yourself. And then after you learn it, then you know that you're building into the next generation.
Yeah,
That's
breaking
how
that curse.
that's how I look at it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the parent has to be wanting to change,
Right.
and find and work on a budget and live on a budget versus living beyond their means, like he talked about,
Right.
and learn how to teach their child about credit and about finances and about how to start their own businesses. So they have to learn that.
Lead by example.
Absolutely.
Lead by example.
Absolutely.
Lead by example.
Pretty much. lead
Stop
by
thinking
example.
kids are too young to learn stuff.
Yeah.
We had a gentleman come in here, Michael. He brought his 2 sons in here. Man, them dudes was equipped. You know what I'm saying? They sold us when they got in here and when they left.
Right.
So that tells you right there that kids are not too young to learn
They
something.
were like 10 years old, man.
Yeah, they're like 10 and 11, I think. You know, and smart as a whistle. I mean, already salesman, dressed up,
Right.
corporate with the
Articulate.
tie on. I mean, and everybody doesn't have to do that with their kid, but feeding them the information that they need is so important. I remember when I didn't find out about extensively about credit until I was in my 30s, and that's sad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming that on my mom or my dad or anybody, but I'm just saying it's sad that I didn't really understand anything about credit until I got in my 30s. And I think that there's a lot of people out there like that, where they really starting to find out, like, what? I remember when I found out, I was having a conversation at work with a guy, you know, back in, this was, I ain't gonna tell y'all my age. This is about 4 or 5 years
He's
ago.
45.
And he was telling me about, what you gotta do there?
Nothing wrong with the 4 nickel.
Wait a minute,
Come on
but
with
you
it.
said
But
until
I
your
ain't 55, so.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
true.
Nah, but he was
No,
telling me.
I'm over here silent, and then he points to me.
You want to play that song again?
See, but see, I remember when he told me a story, and it was similar to what Demont was saying, where the guy said his dad got him going when he was 16, and this guy said the same thing about when he was 17. I was so furious because I was like, I didn't know that you could do that for kids that young.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was thinking like you had to be an adult to work on credit or do something like that. Even in my 30s, I was just like shocked that that you could do that with kids to prep them up to get ready. But it explained so many things, like why kids was driving BMWs in high school.
Yes.
I mean, you had kid families that was rich, the kids just drive whatever, but it explained why some kids at my age in the school, the township that I was in, that was of a different race, was well equipped. You know, they knew and understood things that we didn't. So by the time they got out of college, they already had 800 credit score.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I didn't know anything about authorized user. Can you talk to people about what an authorized user is and how they help credit?
Well, authorized user, what it does is it's another term called piggybacking. So it's pretty much like you're piggybacking off of someone else's good credit. So just say, for instance, that I've had a credit card since 1980, and I add my child onto it, even though my child wasn't born in 1980. Their history is going to be all the way back to 1980. So it's when you get a credit card and they always ask you, do you want to add an authorized user, or do you want to add someone on? And then they'll send them a card. It's under your account. You're responsible for it, but it's on their account. So you could literally put a credit your child, your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, anybody on your credit card, on your credit account, and you don't even have to give them the credit card.
Right.
But your history, your good history, is going to show up on their credit report.
Right. Y'all don't understand that that's a jam right there. That's a nugget.
Listen,
I hope that y'all
There's nothing illegal about it.
Not at all.
There's nothing illegal about it.
Yeah.
You can add anybody to your accounts. Now, some companies like Capital One, you have a limit, 5. American Express, I can add up to 20 on my American Express. So, you know, you have a limit of how many people you can add, but it's just like you getting a cell phone and you getting on the family plan.
Right.
And the reason why you're able to get on the family plan is because you've been with that company for so long, so you can get 6 or 7 phones without paying anything. It's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah. Or just get in the car with me. You know, it's like a vehicle. Get in this car, sit, buckle up, and let's go. And I'm glad you mentioned, Demond, that it's not anything that's illegal, because one of the first things people will say is, hey, is this stuff that you're doing legal? Well, yes, it is, America. Let me also plug in on this. This is information that you won't be getting from any school or anybody else. And so we have to reconfigure our mind states. Shout out to my mother, since we're talking about people who helped us. My mom sat me down a long time ago and put a tablet in front of me and then wrote the word budget on the top of it. And she showed me how to budget. And she showed me how to do things with my little money, with my little paper route.
Nice.
And so she made me work for the things that I wanted. She said, son, yes, I'll help you, but I'm going to show you how to do certain things with your money. So, you know, every Christmas I had the BMX bikes and, you know, Billie Jean zipper jackets from merry-go-round, all that stuff, because I worked for it, and she showed me how to do it. Yeah, I'm dropping nuggets way back on y'all.
We ain't about to roll past that Billie Jean jacket.
Merry-go-round, man.
Come on, man. You know what's right there. You know when you walked in there, you seen that Thriller jacket, and you had to have it. And so these are the things that I'm saying where we have to say, in all seriousness, but it starts at home.
Absolutely.
You have to lead by example. And then, as Ray pointed out, the children want to learn. They want to understand. And they will give you the audience, and they will absolutely duplicate what they see. You're a product of your environment. So that's what we got to do. We got to take it all the way back and build from there.
I had a Squirrels Club account. Anybody ever heard of that?
Who?
A Squirrels Club. My mother got me started. It was like a little yellow pamphlet, and you put quarters in it.
Y'all talked
and
about
once
me.
Once you fill it up, I ain't telling my age neither. Watch yourself. Ebony don't know, so she can't get me.
Squirrel.
Once you fill it up, you just turn it into the bank, and they deposit, and they give you a new one. And you keep putting quarters. Yeah, but Squirrels Club. See, they don't do that anymore. Like I say, it's this generational gap now.
Right.
Like he said, everybody's on PlayStation and games, and nobody's on importance. But when I had met Mikhail, he surprised me, because me and Keith been doing similar stuff, and I never knew that the youth would be that interested.
Yes.
Because they know at 16 or 17 they can't buy a house.
Right.
But I never had no clue
Right.
that the youth was that interested in the real estate business.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that was a shocker to me. So I was like, okay, we need to get it out there.
And I think that once the youth find out what they have access to and what they can learn, sky's the limit.
Yes.
But like the mom was saying, we got to get to us first, the parents. We have to educate ourselves in understanding how these things work. You know, so again, that authorized user is a big deal. Let me break this down in layman's terms.
Yes.
If your cousin Joe got a credit score of a 780, let's say that Joe has been taking care of his bills and he's got it going on. Okay, he might have a retail card or a credit card somewhere, and you know, you say, you know what, Joe, man, I'm not doing too well in the credit area, man. I need a little boost. Well, Joe says, you know what? You've been an outstanding family member. You can't be a sucky family member.
Right.
You got to be an outstanding family member.
All the functions.
So right. No backstabbing. And be careful. But Joe says, you know what? Okay, I'll add you on as an authorized user. And see, we don't understand what that means. Authorized user, because see, I had it confused. I didn't know the difference between an authorized user and applying on the credit with somebody, like a joint applicant.
Co-applicant.
Yeah. So I thought that was the
Co-applicant.
same thing. I'm like, I ain't putting no authorized user on my card, But once I understood what it was, I started utilizing that function. So Joe says, okay, I'll put you on as an authorized user. What that does is if Joe has a credit limit on that card of $10,000, okay, on your credit, you might have a couple of cards, credit limit $2,500. What that does is give you that $10,000.
Yeah.
So now on your score is going to shoot up because it shows that you have an excess amount of credit that Joe has added for you. Right? Am I right?
And like Demont said, age of credit too.
Right, and the age of
Yeah,
credit.
That matters.
Yeah,
That
the
matters
age of
a
credit.
lot.
Yeah, the seasonal.
Come on to the mic, man, real quick.
So just because, I just wanted to add on that because a lot of people, when you do use the card, they be like, well, if I'm using you as an authorized user, it's not like, oh, so does that mean that they use my card?
Right.
Make sure that's clear.
Right.
Exactly. So when you put somebody on as an authorized user, you want to make sure that you don't give them that card
Right.
to flex
That's
on.
what I was going to say. You don't have to. Yeah, you just go ahead because they're going to ask you, do you want a card?
Right.
You just say yes.
They
Right.
send
And
it
you-
to the billing address.
Yeah, send it to the billing address, and you just say yes, and you don't do it. So if you're helping a friend out or helping somebody,
Yeah.
you just go ahead and get the card and keep it,
Or rip it up. They probably don't
and
need
that
it.
still will allow them to be on your on
Right.
your account and not use it.
And it can be temporary. So if you could put a timeline on this, so you could
Yes.
say if a person's just trying to get their credit boosted, or just say they're trying to qualify for a house, or whatever the case may be, it could be you could just leave it on there 3 to 6 months, and then you can take it off. But
I didn't know
mean, Google.
That's good to know.
I tell people, everybody thinks everything is a scam when they don't understand it.
Yeah.
We just had this
gonna talk
conversation
about
before
that.
we went on air.
That's right.
Google can be your best
Man.
friend. Just Google it if you don't
Yeah.
understand it, what a trade line
Right.
is, or what piggybacking is, or what trade line. I mean,
Yeah.
what your risks are. As far as your liabilities and adding someone onto an account. But you're helping that person. There's really no risk if the person doesn't have the credit card, and they have to be willing to fix the problem.
Right,
And,
Yeah.
right.
and like I was telling him before we went online, is that even adding a trade line, depending on a person's file, it doesn't all the time
Absolutely.
boost your score. It really
Yeah.
Right.
depends on the file.
Right.
If it's a file that you've been paying your stuff on time, or you might just have one or two credit cards you just started and you're trying to build, it will boost it. But if you have a lot of collections, you have a lot of negative marks, you have a lot of late pays, then it's not gonna do much.
Right.
You still have to fix that,
Yes.
and then it will boost it. So
Yes.
it's still a process in it. It's not gonna fix it
Absolutely.
overnight.
Absolutely. You still got some work to do. So just because Joe helped you don't mean that you ain't
That's
got to
right.
pay your bills,
Right.
Absolutely.
But that's the problem we have. People get so discouraged
Right.
No,
when we
I
tell
understand
them that in our industry, and it's like, hey, now you ain't coming. You can't. Oh, I just want to buy a couple houses. You don't have the cash.
Yeah.
It takes longer.
Right.
And that's why we will not help nobody unless they go through one of our classes, because, like I said, people jump into things and don't know.
Right.
We want
Right.
you to know what you're doing
Educate yourself.
before you
Yeah.
do it, because
Yeah.
we don't want
That's
you to
good.
fail.
Right.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
don't do that.
That's good.
They say,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you know a credit repair specialist, talk to a specialist.
Yes.
Right.
We tell people, you have a real estate mentor, deal with somebody that knows what
Absolutely.
they're doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Everybody just wants to jump out here and do something and they ain't never done it, and then they wonder why. Look what happens.
Right.
And then what you said, you end up paying more.
Right.
In the
Right.
end,
Yeah.
to
Get out of the
fix
hole.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some like critical factors that affect credit?
Late pays.
Late pays.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell somebody, if your minimum payment is a $25, if your minimum payment is $25, I'd rather you go borrow the $25 than be 30 days past due.
Absolutely.
So because a 30-day late payment is gonna mess up your good history, and it's gonna throw you back 4 or 5 years. It's like going back in
Yep.
history.
Right. And it stays
So-
on your report.
Yeah, it stays
For a
on
while.
there for a long time. So that's one of the things. And another thing would be collections. I do want to talk about collections just for
Sure.
a second. So collections, many people are bullied by collection agencies. So the way collection agencies are a $1 billion company. I mean, $1 billion business. So if you have a Sprint account, they sell it to Diversified. Diversified buys the bad debt. Sprint writes it off. Diversified buys the bad debt from Sprint for pennies on the dollar. So just say your bill was Sprint. You went from Sprint to AT&T, so you didn't pay the past due balance, so they send it to collections. You have a $500 bill with Sprint. Diversified calls you. They say, hey, this is Diversified. We're the collection agency for Sprint. We're trying to get it for we're trying to get $500, but we're willing to sell it with you. So just send us $200. We'll make it even. I tell my credit club and the people that follow me on Facebook and anybody that I come into contact with, do not pay the $200, do not pay the $500 unless they send you a letter of deletion. If they do not send you a letter of deletion, there are other ways by law that you can get it off of your credit without it harming you. When you pay, a paid collection is just as bad as an unpaid collection. So what happens is when underwriters look at your credit and they see that they look at your file, say you had Capital One, you paid it on time, First Premier, paid it on time, Credit One Bank, you paid it on time, your car payment, you paid it on time, but you allowed this medical bill or Sprint or whatever went to collections, it shows that you're a high risk because you shouldn't have anything go to collections because collections means you didn't pay it on time. Right. So even if you paid a collection, it's still bad as if you didn't pay it. So I tell people to make sure that you get a letter of deletion for your collections or find someone that can help you in the area of getting it removed from your credit so that it won't harm you because you're high risk now when banks look at you.
Demont, can't we also, as the consumer, the person who has this bad Sprint debt, write a letter to them and request, say for instance you agree to pay $75 on this particular bill, but can't we also write that letter to them and say, I want this deleted off, and they have a certain amount of time to respond to that, and if they don't respond to it, they automatically, by law, have to delete it off?
In some cases, yes. So it really depends on the letter. It depends on how you word the letter, and it depends on how you structure it. So you can write it, and they can say verified, and they leave it on there. Or you could write it, and one of them will come off, and the other ones won't. Or you could write it and it might come off and it might come back later. So it's just like, I give people this analogy. So it's just like you speeding. So you driving 55 and a 70. You were going 70 and a 55. You were speeding and you get pulled over. You take it to court because you don't want it to raise your premium because the points to go raise your premium on your insurance. So you know you were wrong, but you're going to take it to court because it might be some kind of loophole to where the police officer doesn't show up or they don't have it on camera or whatever the case may be. But you want to fight it because you do not want your insurance premium to go up. So but you win. You win, but you were wrong. So it's the same thing with fighting credits. You just got to know how to deal with it. Right. And if you don't know the laws, to me, it's better for you to find a company that can help you. Even if it's not my company or thousands of companies out there. I don't think any of them are as well as mine, but there are thousands of companies out there that will help you to get it off legally. Because if you try to do it yourself, a lot of times it might work, but it might not work too. So if it doesn't work, you got to have a backup plan because everything. The way the credit bureaus verify is through eOscar. So when eOscar is like a big machine, they can't call these companies and verify or call and verify a bankruptcy. They verify that through public records. They verify that through a system. Like it's billions of complaints and disputes that go to the credit bureau. They cannot mail. They don't have a person in the office calling saying, "Hey, did he do really? Is this really his Sprint?" It's through a system. So I take credit classes 3 every month. I've been doing this since I was 20 years old. I'm 37 now. So I've been doing it for over 17 years. So I kind of understand the credit and how it works. So you have to get with somebody that understands credit, that understands the laws, and understands how to get it off. I've never seen anything that I can't get off somebody's credit.
I heard that.
But it's a process because a lot of times I have people that come to me, and because they've tried to work on them, it's like you trying to work on your hair. not a beautician, but you try to do your hair yourself, you know, at home, and you mess it up worse. And,
Right.
you know,
Take you longer.
it takes longer. So it's the same thing with credits. You got to find somebody that knows the laws, because it's laws that, like you said, if they don't respond to it, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's an act. That's a law. So when I tell you don't pay a collection, that's because you're protected. You're protected by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the law that protects you.
Yes.
You know, but if you don't know the laws, it's a law. It's a law that, like he said, it means that the credit, the furnisher, which is the person who gave you credit, they have to adhere to certain laws, and if they don't, and if they can't prove certain things, and if they can't provide certain information, they have to reverse whatever that was that they put on your credit. So if you look at your credit report, if you really know how to read credit, most Americans have at least 99% of errors on their credit report. So if you know how to read a credit, you might look at it, you don't really know what it is, and you're like, okay, that might be real, because technically, like your name, your multiple addresses, all of those things, those are errors. You know, and the way they list it, it could be something that's listed as paid, agreed, or as satisfied, and it's not really. So you just gotta know how to read it and know how to fight it. So it's just like you fighting a trial. You know, but you know that you were wrong.
Right. A lot of people don't know that you should only have a specific number of addresses on your report. And if it shows that you have 10 to 12, you're a liability.
You should have one address on your report.
One address on your report.
It's the same with us.
But see, I just learned that. So like you told, we just went through a system where I used to dispute. So we used to dispute for many years. We disputed. And then I went through a training that changed my life, and now it gives me more progress than we normally had. So now we no longer dispute. We do challenges. So we challenge the credit bureau. We challenge the furnisher,
What's
which
the
I
difference?
told you.
Yeah.
It's a major difference. So a dispute is something that you pretty much can do yourself.
Sure.
A challenge is we're challenging you based upon what the law is.
Thank you. From the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
That's
Okay.
right. So a dispute is just saying, hey, it's not mine, or hey, I wasn't late.
Okay.
So they can just, like I told you, go through eOscar. It goes through a system, and eOscar just shoots it back out, and either they'll say yes or they'll say no.
Right.
A challenge is once I challenge you and I prove that you're wrong, you can never put this on my report again.
Right.
A dispute is if something changes within the process, or you don't do something, I could put it back on your report.
Right.
Yeah. So, or if they sell it to another collection agency, so that can happen too.
I have a question. So I just recently consolidated my student loans, and oh man, you smiling? Was that not a good thing?
I mean, you probably just pissed him off. Okay.
I know. Did you see the smile on his face?
No, you didn't piss me off.
So I consolidated, but it jacked me up because although it put all of my, I'm a professional college student, so you know I got Nelnet, I had Naviance, I had Sally. Right.
Department of Education.
Right, Department of Ed. I had all of them. But they were going back to 2000. But it was helping me as far as my credit and the age of my credit. So now that I've consolidated.
They closed.
Yes. And now I've started over, which I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. So now literally my credit is only 3 years old. And it kind of jacked me up just a little bit slightly. It just pushed me down a little bit. But can I write a letter for that to actually for that date to change? Because it's still with one of the people I was already with.
It was transferred.
Right. It was just all sent to just one of them instead of Naviance.
Which is good. Consolidation on student loans is fine. Yes, you do close. I mean, you minimize your history because now you don't have that history.
Right.
But if you want to boost it up, I would never say tell them to open it back up. What you need to do is you would have, like we're talking about, authorized users.
Right.
You find a family member,
okay,
or you can buy them.
Oh, okay.
So you need more history than 3 years. So you would find someone that has a credit account.
Okay, that's older than that.
Right.
Nice.
Thank you.
I better not be out there charging for authorized users.
Just a quick, easy fix, just like that,
on there
though.
real quick.
But imagine, I probably would have been like, dang, now I got to wait, you know, but we don't ask questions.
Right.
And, you know, we don't understand that we have you and we have Keith and Tony and everybody
That's
else.
why it's the gray
ask.
area media, because I was gonna say
Exactly.
people don't know that there's knowledge like we do. They don't tell you the tax sale. You can buy all these houses for a little money, and they just give you a deed.
Right.
But what they don't
Explain
tell
that.
you, anytime you don't go through a title company, you don't know if the deed is good. So you can go downtown, city county building, go to tax sale, you get a house for $8,000. Well, Ray says, "Oh, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna sell it." Well, I said, "Ray, I got a buyer," and we get the title company to call and say, "Hey, well, there's 5 liens on this house.
Right.
Wow, and then you got to pay all those liens.
Yes.
You own it now, so you got to pay those." You say, "Well, I can't, Ray, you can't sell it till you pay those liens." So they don't tell you that. Though.
Man,
So that's
Or
the
do they tell you that expensive attorney that it costs to quiet the title?
It's like
So those are-
$1,200 per lien.
Yeah, it gets
Wow.
pretty rough. But what I do love about this conversation, I'm going to say, is hopefully y'all understand that the credit, it's not a monster. I mean, we've been taught, first of all, some of our community don't even know how to say credit. Credit. They say credit. And that just tears me up. I mean, that makes me so upset because they're like, "Oh, my credit it stinks." Well, first of all, yeah, it does. You don't even know what the heck it is. So
Credit.
it's credit, okay? It's credit. But I'm thankful that we have these gentlemen here and the cast here in the gray area media
Appreciate you,
is
man.
helping us to understand that this is
Absolutely.
not a monster. It can be tamed. We can do this, and we can go out here and make something of ourselves and our families, utilizing the system that's already in place for us to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Can we talk about? Cause we touched on student loans a little bit. Can any of you speak on why it's important to not let your student loans go into where you have late payments? What do you
Default.
and the options that you can do to
Default and
keep
all
that
that,
from going there?
In our industry, when you get into mortgages, the banks are a little lenient because a lot of people have hospital bills and student loans.
Right.
But then it comes down to them student loans debt to income ratio. Because we had a couple, they were both lawyers, they went to law school, I worked with them, they wanted to get a house. They got approved and everything, but when she said, "Okay, in a month my loans come out of deferment," well, her payment was $600. So the bank says, "Well, wait a minute.
That
Hold on.
ratio shot up.
We can't do this loan now because
Right.
that ratio just shot up." So in our industry, that hurts you when you let them come out of default, and you can't go to school always.
Right.
So that's the problem a lot of people don't have, and that's the thing. If they have more gray area media and people like ourselves out here educating people,
For sure.
they don't make those mistakes till they get so bad,
Right.
and then you just feel like I can't do nothing. Like she didn't even know, like you just said, she didn't know not to close it and that. She didn't know, but if she had that knowledge
Right.
before, people wouldn't be making these mistakes. And in 2018, we have to take it upon ourselves to get out there and give the knowledge. And that's what we're trying to do. Our goal is our company. That's why we got on McKell. We want to start younger and take it all the way through and just give people the knowledge, because we've been making money off of real estate
Right.
and credit things for years.
Right.
Let
And
me
that's
tell you,
something. Go ahead.
can I piggyback up?
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one?
sure.
So let me tell you the myth. So there's a myth that I guess our parents taught us, our grandparents taught us, so we just heard through the grapevine that
Okay.
that bad credit has to stay on your credit for 7 years.
Is that a myth?
It's a myth.
Come on with it.
We also
Yeah.
we also heard
Because they can sell
that
it.
a Chapter
They can sell
7
it.
bankruptcy had to stay on our credit for 7 years.
Right.
Y'all have all heard that, right?
Y'all hearing this, audience members?
Wait, is this
Also
open?
foreclosures.
I'm telling you, it's a myth.
bankruptcy or closed
Wow.
bankruptcy?
Either. We've
Either,
heard
right,
that
okay,
either.
right.
We've heard that previously, that either.
Okay.
We've also heard that student loans will always be on our credit because we can't file bankruptcy on them because it's a government.
Tell me
What?
more.
That's what we've heard,
Right.
right? All right, so that's a myth. All right, I can show you over 200 case studies of people in my program that don't have I'm not telling you I could get your student loans erased because you're still going to owe them. But as we talked about through the Fair Credit Reporting Act, there are laws that can block them from reporting onto your credit.
Wow.
Not saying you don't still owe them. So you
Right.
still
Right,
owe
right.
Sally Mae.
You can't get around
You
that.
can't get around the government.
Education.
All right.
You still owe child
Disclaimer: we
support.
can't get them off.
You still owe child support, but it cannot report on your credit. So
Okay.
we block them. So it does. So then you don't have the debt to income ratio situation because it does not show. So that's a myth. As I told you about bad debt and collections and those types of things. So the myth that I can't, okay, well, I'm stuck with bad credit for 7 years because I had something go to collections. No, because we have a way to get it removed from your credit, you know, so that it leaves.
Right.
You know, so those are the myths that everyone that I talk to, they say, well, I thought I was stuck. So I just want people out there to know, do not feel like that you are stuck in your situation for 7 years because you heard that. I want you to find someone that knows the laws of credit and that understands credit and that has good credit, and I want you to allow them to mentor you or coach you so that you can understand what you're dealing with, what you're working with. And there's another myth. Every time someone goes through a financial situation, they think that bankruptcy is the solution. Bankruptcy is not always the solution to your financial burden. Okay, so there are other options other than bankruptcy.
That are less expensive.
The only time that and I filed bankruptcy because I went through the real estate bubble. I lost a lot of houses. I lost a lot of cars. I had to reconsolidate a lot of things. I didn't understand credit the way that I understand it now. I understand credit. I mean, I understand that you have to sometimes file bankruptcy. The only time I recommend bankruptcy is when you're being threatened to be garnished by your job, or you have a house that you're trying to save from being foreclosed. That's the only time that I recommend.
Take notes, y'all.
Yeah, bankruptcy. Anything else, bad credit card. We all have had credit card. Well, a lot of people have. Everybody has. But a lot of us have had credit cards that we couldn't pay. We had to let go. A lot of us have had repossessions. A lot of us have had foreclosures. So that is not a reason to file bankruptcy. But because you can come back from it. You know.
Right.
So.
And we help people with foreclosure. KNT will help you if you're losing your house. We have programs.
Please talk more about that.
Yeah.
We have high-end investors
Okay.
who will come in and buy your house just for what you owe,
Okay.
and you will make no money, but it'll save your credit. And a lot of them will let you stay in as a renter. So you become a renter, you save your credit, and now you don't have this foreclosure.
Right.
So we have those high-end investors that will do that. But then we get people get mad. Well, you're not making no money. Well, you're finna lose it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You ain't got no choice.
right. I got a question for you though. Is it a myth that people say that once you file bankruptcy that you can't get a mortgage for 2 years?
You can if it's reporting, but I just told you.
Yeah. So
that bankruptcy.
that's another thing that.
There's life after bankruptcy.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
Even in the car industry, you can still get
Step
a
up
car.
real quick, Theo.
Shout out Theo. What's happening?
Yeah.
There
Theo
is
in the
still
building.
life after bankruptcy. I mean, I help people all the time in the midst of their bankruptcy, before they discharge, before they have their 341 meetings. I can still get you into a car.
Yep.
So that's the myth that you have to wait until it's discharged. You got to wait X amount of years. You can still get a car in the midst of bankruptcy.
And if you can't, go see Theo.
I got you.
Theo gonna get you one.
If they say
All
no,
day.
go see Theo.
Hey, just for y'all know who he is. He's
That's
that
a
hair
good
shirt.
commercial.
I like that.
If they say no, come see Theo.
There you go.
There you go.
Theo.
Man, so okay, we got the student loan squared away. Also, there's many options. If you there's so like what is like 5 or 6 options for you to pay your student loans off. Like they give you different options. So
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't let it
Income-based
get that
repayment
bad.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, there's many options that will allow you to pay on income or, based on what you make. Some of them will even give you a whole year before you can start paying
Yeah.
again. I've used that a couple of times, so, I know it's out there.
Or just keep going back to school and then. No,
See, that's
yeah.
the
Keep in deferment.
that's the black people way.
You'll be 80 years old.
I ain't never paying off this
Yeah, your
debt.
8th master's program.
Right.
Let me roll on in here.
You got 8 degrees.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my master's in
They
cooking.
ain't even touched 6 figures yet.
Right,
I know
right.
some people, man, look. I know some
gonna be
people,
paying
man, like,
America
they would go to
forever.
college, bro, just to get that first Pell Grant check.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, man,
But you got people living off that college money too.
Man.
and that's
Absolutely.
How they go.
Yeah.
living
Right.
off that
Yeah,
college
so that's why
money.
they go, hey, man.
Tuition reimbursements.
Yo,
and
man, I can't wait to get that first Pell Grant or that first loan. Disbursement. They get that, man, and
It's gone.
It's gone.
This is why we have to educate our people.
Absolutely. I agree.
The 2 things we wait on is the Pell Grant and tax time. And them
Man.
are not supposed to be times that you wait on just to make money.
Right.
You know, it's great to
Not
get
make
money
to
back.
bounce back.
Yeah, to bounce back, which doesn't last long. So what we're trying to provide you with is something beyond tax time.
Absolutely.
You know, you could be together for a lifetime, and in tax time, you won't even look at taxes. You won't file taxes to April 15th.
Come on with that.
Because you have to.
Right.
You know, you want to get to that point.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about the real estate, because I think that there's a lot of people that's been paying crazy amounts of rent.
Oh, yeah.
Living in nothing wrong with living in an
Mortgage too,
apartment.
yeah.
Sometimes that's just the time that, you know. But like I said on the show before, I did the math on staying in an apartment paid $900 for 4 years, and that was like $40,000. And I was looking at that like I could have put that on a house. So let's talk about why some people probably need to move away from the apartment, if you travel. I mean, there's some different circumstances which would allow you to, you know, be apartment up. That's okay. But if you been a long-term resident in a certain area and you don't plan on moving no time soon, it's probably about time for you to get into a home.
Yeah.
Well, we could see the thing is, now we meet great people like him. We try to help. That's what KNT does. We take a personal approach to try to help you. Put your pride to the side. If you come and say you're paying $1,300 a month for rent and just to live in a big house, to tell your girlfriend and the guys that work here, I got the big house.
Right.
You're crazy. But let us help you. We can send you through his program.
Right.
He send you right back.
People crazy.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But people do, yeah. If come in, let us help
Say they
you.
special.
Let us help you. Send you right over here. He send you right back. And for that money that you've been paying the rent, now you can own it.
Right.
It's like going to errands or one of these rental places, and you paying all that money. And we have people out here that's renting houses for $1,300 and $1,400 a month.
Right.
They doing that because they don't embarrass about their credit.
Right.
They can't get. They
Right.
can make the payments, but can't get a loan.
Yeah.
I have a friend right now that came to me 2 weeks ago and says, "Hey Tony, we got qualified, but we can't come up with a down payment.
Yeah.
Wow.
What can I do?" I said, "Overtime."
It's overtime.
I mean, but so I'm saying,
There you
so
go.
many people are challenged. They couldn't come up with the down payment, but they got approved for $240.
240,000.
Yeah.
I mean, but are there ways where they could, like, you know, get that down payment waived?
They need to come down on the house price.
They have a down payment.
And we killed it. Yeah, the kid is meant the down. There is no such thing. All they doing is putting it on the back end.
Right.
Yeah. So there people need to get them. If there's no down money down, you
What's
gonna
it
pay
called?
for it.
What is it called?
You know how to say no money down?
Oh, okay.
They're
I thought
just
you
putting-
had a term for it. Because, you know,
They call it a down payment assistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're just allowing you. They just take that whatever your down payment was and put it on the back end.
Oh,
Okay.
you're gonna pay it at the end.
Yeah.
In
It's
the
like a
end.
balloon payment.
10, maybe
Well,
even
that's
15%.
30 years. You got 30 years and 1 more month's payment.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
They used to be called a 2-1 buy down program, and I think it went away where you could buy your rate down.
Yeah.
Because some people
Oh,
have
that's
money
right.
and not
You put
credit.
like 20% down and bring it down.
You can pay the
15
more
or
money you
20%.
put down, it will bring your rate down. It's called a 2-1 buy down.
Right.
What about the, what's it called? Gift of equity. What is that? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it
Get the
before.
equity, yeah.
Well, one of the things I know about the equity program, you can actually go into a home, do some sweat equity, do a little work into the home, and earn money towards your down payment or help you to get the loan financed that way.
Yeah.
You can also get a gift from someone to help you with the down payment.
Yeah.
But I want to go back real quick. Ray asked the
sure.
question about the difference between owning and renting. I think it's a mind state. People have to say to themselves, hey, I really want ownership. I
Yeah.
want to understand what ownership is versus just being here in this asset. And when you have made that decision up, like you said, the knowledge is key. Most people are probably in a position to actually purchase a house and get a mortgage, but they just don't know it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
Small things need to be taken care of. Little bitty items that we would look at the credit report. You and we all three would say, this is nothing. We can handle this. But they think it's a monster. So we have to help them with that. But the sweat equity programs are out there. A lot of owner financing. Pardon me, a lot of owner financing. Let me get this back together here. Yeah,
there you go.
You got to get
There
that right.
you go.
A lot of owner financing can help with the sweat equity, bringing all that stuff in. So it's just a myriad of different ways that we can approach it, especially if the owner is going to help out with the financing.
Right. I mean, and it's not always, you got to be careful. Like the renting thing, I remember when I was looking for my house, and I just couldn't believe how much rent was to rent a house.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I'm not knocking people who rent houses by any means, but I'm just saying, if you rent a house, you might as well own one and start working towards trying to own one, because that is you paying $400 to $500 more.
You can pay $800 to live somewhere decent.
Yeah.
You're gonna start between, I'm gonna say $9,000 to $1,000.
Yeah,
to live in a safe area.
Right.
To rent a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage house.
Right.
Yeah.
In a nice place.
In a decent area, where you feel safe. So, and like you said, I know people renting for $1,300, $1,400 a month, and
Right.
it's just rent.
Right.
And they're not even doing rent to
It's
buy.
not going toward anything.
Yeah, it's just
to own
rent.
it.
Again, sometimes they just
I
don't know.
tell my members about that renting. I tell them, I said, you gotta look at it like you embarrassed because you have bad credit, but you've been staying in somebody else's house, or you've been staying in somebody else's apartment for 5 or 10 years. You actually paying to make somebody else's credit good.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So you could be paying to make your credit good, but you're too lazy. Because
Right.
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
When you don't get the assistance and what you need, you go to work every day, you file your taxes every year. That's two of the things. And the third thing is just qualifying with a credit score.
Right.
So because you're too lazy and because you don't want to do the work to figure out what it's going to take to get you in the high 6s or the 700s so that you can qualify for a house,
Right.
or so that you can, we talked about tax time. Tax time, people are going to buy cars, people are going to buy furniture. People with good credit, they don't wait till tax time to buy cars and furniture because they could buy a car all year long with zero down.
There you go.
Okay.
Right. There you go.
So, but when people get tax checks, they take $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to put down on a car and pay 25% interest rate, which I think is
Let's
is
talk
highway
about,
robbery.
let's talk about that and why it's important to understand the interest rate thing, because I look in my 30s I was pissed when I found out. I'm in my 20s. I got a new car, and I realized that everybody wasn't paying 24% for no car. You know what I'm saying? 20-something% for a car. I'm up here paying $300.
You talking about the one car
ain't
that
gotta-
you got on file?
you ain't
I remember when
gotta
he
bring
got
it
that
up.
car. Oh man, he was happy. Oh my god, he was happy.
You ain't
Asked
got
him
to
to
bring
pay
the car up.
Oh man.
But the thing is I didn't even realize that for the year, and I didn't have a new car, brand new car. Today, if you got decent credit, you can get a 2018, probably paying no less than $250 a month, maybe even less, depending on your credit. I was paying like $300 a month for a car that was 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
That's what that percent does for you. You paying an exponential amount of money for a car that ain't even worth what you paying for. And then not only that, you paying on it for 10 years.
You become
it's
a
not
high
even
risk.
it's not even what you're paying as far as your payment. It's a matter of how much of your payment is going towards the
Right,
principal,
towards the principal.
Right.
which is the amount of the car. So if the
right.
car is a $21,000 car and you have a 25% interest rate and somebody else has a 6% interest rate, then more of their payment is going towards
the
paying
interest,
the car
interest,
off.
So it's the interest. It's the money they
But
get
many
from
people
you.
don't understand that. They just need a car. They just
Right.
they
I
sign the
get it.
paper.
They
They don't
just-
even know what the interest rate
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what, though? The good thing about understanding credit and how it works for you is that once you put yourself in position, you can actually go into the dealership, like Ray said. Go see my man back here,
Right.
Theo.
Yeah.
Harris Chevrolet. Theo that knows.
Harris
And
Chevrolet.
you walk in there
Hey,
already positioned with beautiful credit, or at least a credit that has been performing. And you can say, I want this, Theo.
You want the LTZ and not the L.
I want the LTZ with
gives
the
you
pearl
options.
paint, and I'm going to be able to drive off the lot, and my payments are, a lot of my money is going to go towards a principal amount versus if I was a high risk to the bank. If I have some credit issues, the bank is looking at my paper saying, oh, Keith is a high risk, so we're going to give him that car, but he going to pay. And they're going to be like, yeah, as soon as he signed that paperwork, because it's a big billion-dollar industry,
Right.
just like DeMont said. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Having good credit, it affords you opportunities to be with the mainstream lenders. You got secondary lenders and you got mainstream lenders. And
Right.
some of the secondary lenders, they putting tracking devices in your car. They putting
What?
GPSs in your car
Yeah.
because
Shut
of
it
your
down
credit.
if you don't pay.
Wow.
Because of your credit history. But when you have good credit, you're dealing with the teacher's credit and you're dealing with forms where you're getting the single-digit interest rates. And like I said, like DeMont said, most of your money is going towards the principal opposed to the interest of the car. And I mean, you're paying that car off a lot quicker. before it runs out of warranty, and you just in a better predicament. You better you're more in a equity position than you are
Right.
a negative equity position when you're paying that high interest rate. You're never gonna pay that car off. That's why
Right.
we're trying to get your credit right, so you're not going to the buy here pay here's where you're paying more for the car than what the car is worth, and it breaks down, and you're stuck, and it's on your credit.
Right. I remember I was in the 11,000 for 2 years. I said, man, I know I didn't gave them at least $6,000, and I'm still at 11,000.
The highest interest rate you
going
can have
on
right
here?
now is 25%. That's the law. 25% in Indiana.
In Indiana,
It's other
I
places
met
higher.
somebody in Phoenix that said they don't have that. I mean, Arizona said
no
they
cap.
don't have a cap.
There's no
like
cap.
they go up to 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Indiana's 25%.
can I give an example? So Jermaine, was in the real estate crumble. Okay, so he has some blemishes. He has some blemishes on his credit. He has some blemishes on his credit from the real estate bubble. I mean,
The
collapse
Yeah.
that a lot of us were involved in. So he went through my credit program, right? And we're talking about options. So he went through my credit program. Now he's at 816,
No,
17.
831. Say it right.
Come on with it.
831.
Mr.
He's
800.
he's at 831. You say he gets mad when you don't say that right. All right, but the point of the options is that he went. Theo calls him. He's like, man, I got this Escalade. I want you just to come, test out for the weekend. Okay, so when you go from a not so good score to an 800 score, that gives you options. So when you have a 500 or 600, you try to go test drive a car.
They going with you.
They going with you.
Right. Give me your license.
When you do a little bit of work and not be lazy and work the program and figure out what you need to do to be the best version of you, then you can get options. So he's test driving this Escalade over the weekend. He loves
Like
Cadillacs. All right.
Mr. Ray.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
So on Sunday, he called me. He's like, man, Theo done set me up. I said, what, man? He's like, man, I don't even want to take this car home. I said, man, well, just think if you had bad credit, you wouldn't even be able to drive out the car.
Round the
now
block.
you got an option, and now he has the option of being able to drive the car,
Right.
keep the car. So that's the privilege of having good credit. Furniture, you can get furniture 3 months. I got people waiting 3 years to pay for their furniture versus. With bad credit, you got to wait till tax time.
Absolutely. Break
so,
that down. Break that down real
even
quick.
with the TVs, like when you see Best Buy and they say
This ain't rent a
6
center
months
now,
same,
y'all.
yeah, Best Buy says 6 months same as cash, or 24 months same as cash.
Yeah.
Like I just got some stuff same as cash. I don't have to pay for it for 2 years. So it's the same thing, but you don't have to pay all the interest that you would have to pay.
So you got
with
2 years maybe
Aaron's
before interest
or
kicks in.
Rent-A-Center or one of those companies.
Yeah.
So just position. That's why I'm stressing with everybody this year. Is just position yourself to be the best you. We teach our kids you can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to do. Be anything you want to be. But we're not showing them. We're not leading them by example.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're teaching them how to work. And there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 job. That's how I was raised. That's how my mama fed me. So I'm not knocking it. But I am saying that now we're living in a generation where you can't just work. I mean, you shouldn't just want to work a 9-to-5. You should want to have multiple streams of income. You should want to invest your money. You should want to, as the Bible says, you should want to leave an inheritance for your children's children. So how do you do that when you barely making ends meet off a 9-to-5? You have to learn how to let your money work for you. And that means that if you don't know how to work it, you got to find somebody to help you, because whatever you're making, I'm sure it's a way that you can scale back and you can save some.
Right.
And even a lot of that is that interest that y'all paying in those high car payments.
Right. And even if you're not a business-minded person that create multiple streams of income, it's still important to get your stuff together so that if something happened one day,
in position.
You know what I'm saying? Wildfire, I don't know, earthquake, flood. Something happens, and now you got a backup plan because you got a couple of credit cards you can bounce off of.
Yeah. So that helps you in the housing industry too.
Yeah.
If your credit is strong, you might be able to buy a house. We see buy a house on a credit card because the payment will be a lot lower. Then take your cash and fix it up, and then you never have a mortgage tied to that house, so you can't lose it.
Right.
And then that's what KNT teach their portfolio. So later on down the road, you waking up letting your money work for you, But if something go bad, you got 10 houses to get rid of.
Right.
To come with some money instead of filing bankruptcy, like you said. If you don't create options, you won't have options.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what's inspired me to be so passionate about credit? It's not
Let's
money.
talk about it.
It's
Let's
not
talk
any of
about it.
that. Okay. I'm from Indianapolis, moved to LA on faith. I wasn't in the entertainment industry or anything. I ended up in the entertainment industry. I've done tours, I've done shows, I've done events, I booked just about anybody you could book. One of my good friends, Ray he has supported all of my events. Theo has supported all of my events out of town. Jay has come out of town. So I got to a point this year to where I did not want to be known as having the biggest and the best parties. I wanted to be known, if I ever die, I wanted to have a legacy to where I helped inspire people to change. So that's why I've been on this pursuit this year. I've been doing credit for years. I've been knowing, because the same situation with you guys is I was flipping houses here, and so I would meet people and their credit would have blemishes on it, and I would just fix their credit so they get approved for my house. Okay, I met this billionaire. His name is George Maloof. I met him at a party in Beverly Hills at Adrian Maloof's house. And I told him my blueprint. This year I'm teaching people about blueprints. I told him my blueprint, and he told me how I could become a billionaire. And he said, if you want to become a billionaire, you have to position yourself to use the bank's money to make money. He said, quit spending your own money to invest it. So I was at an auction buying one house for under $100,000. And I used to flip houses, still do, but not as much as I did because I don't have the time. But I was buying one house, and I met this guy, John. So I met one billionaire, then I met another one. So I said, John, how you make so much money? He said, using the bank's money. He said, me and my wife, we borrowed $40,000 from the bank. We paid it back. We got our credit together. We borrowed $40,000. We paid it back. They gave us $80,000. We paid it back. They gave us $100,000. He said, now we have such a good relationship with the bank. They give us an unlimited line of credit. So I'm buying one. They buying 20 at the auction. So I'm like, okay, well, so I know that I have a mind that I could do anything somebody else could do. I'm going to try to do it better. Okay, so we can't keep using the same excuse that we never had this, or we have kids, or we have all these responsibilities, when we have the same resources to position ourselves to use the bank's money to make money. And that's how I got to being inspired and doing the things that I do now, is because I met a billionaire, and he told me that if you want to be rich, you have to use the bank's money to make money. And that means that all they really do is they judge me, just like school. Yeah. They judge me on my score. Right. So I have to look good on paper, and that's what this is about. It's just being able to look good on paper, so that you can buy houses, and so that you can, we're teaching our members how to build multiple streams of income, not just one stream of income, which you've been working on too.
Absolutely.
We all are part of a group, an investment group, and we're working on Airbnbs. And we have people that are positioning themselves to do Airbnbs and invest in other businesses, because that's how you're going to make it. If I had multiple streams of income when we went through a recession, I wouldn't have lost all the stuff I lost. Right. But all my money was, all my income was coming from real estate. Right. So you have to position yourself to where your portfolio is broad. Right. And most people don't know where to get the money because they don't have it. Right. So you just talked about, like, they don't have the money for their down payments. They don't have the money for, so how do you teach somebody how to get money if they don't have it? Right. And they making ends meet and feeding their kids.
Where do they start?
But they start with themselves.
Right.
So you start with yourself, and if you get yourself to a 720, then you're positioning yourself to get, a line of credit so that you can invest into whatever that venture is, or your dream, or whatever real estate, or broadening your portfolio. That doesn't mean you quit your job. You still keep your job, but now you have 2 streams of income. Yeah. And then you make 2 streams of income, 3 streams of income. So the goal, if you look at any millionaire story, they're going to tell you 7 streams of income. Right. So you need to position yourself to have. I know a lot of my members are comment, and that's a word that I always use, is position yourself. So that means that when you might not, Ray said it earlier, is you might not be ready now, and you might not even have a plan all the way, but if you're in position when that opportunity comes, then you're ready for it. And many of us are not in position.
Yeah.
You know, I know this is a religious platform, but I don't knock church or anything. I love God. I go to church. I believe in all those things. And what we learn in church is that manna is going to fall from heaven. We're going to be blessed.
Right.
And God is going to bless us
just
beyond
wait on
measure.
it. It's coming.
Good measure, pressed down, shaking, all of that.
But
we got to move.
If we're not in position,
Right.
we can't even grab the manna when it comes.
Faith without works is dead.
All day.
So all of those things. So we have to get in position whenever that blessing or that door opens, that we're ready for it. You know, and many of us are not, because, like I said, and I tell my members this, we're lazy. So we're used to being given things. We don't want to learn new things. If it's something that's beyond our comprehension, it's a scam.
It's a scam. Right.
Right. You know what? Hey, really quick,
Speaking of scams.
Speaking of scams. Oh my God.
Speaking on that.
Let's just go ahead.
No, our conversation before we started the show. What is the technical term for? Is the recent legitimate way to make
recent
money?
Developments, which I'm sure y'all seen online. It's a lot of people saying, "Hey, come and get this money.
Right.
Let me show you how to get this money."
It's an app,
Cash App, right?
Right. It's an
Cash
app, and it's an app. This ain't nothing new under the sun. This stuff has been going on.
What'd you say?
You know, but
Leo?
it's a referral program, and people have found a genius way to, including myself, have found a genius way to use it, which it doesn't only help you, it helps whoever gets involved with it.
Right.
So the problem is that there's people that cannot even fathom being a part of something or risking it. And you know, this program is an app called Dosh. And what Dosh is instead of them paying for marketing to go out there and do that, they would rather pay $15, $20 a person for you to refer those people, because it's quicker, word of mouth, and they
understand the power of social media.
They understand the power of social media. So Dosh came about and offered a program where you sign up, you add a credit card, and it's a great app. If you really look at this app, it helps you save money. Basically, every time you shop online, it searches the internet for a coupon code, and it attaches the coupon code to whatever you're shopping to automatically. And it gives you that discount. So just imagine shopping for pizza online or shoes or whatever, and Dosh says, "Hey, what's the name? This website has a 10% coupon. Bam, you saving money." So even if you don't utilize the app for the referral or the affiliate program, you still saving money. You know, some people, I ain't want nothing to do with that.
Right.
You know, that's a scam. You know, everybody
give them that coupon. I bet you they go.
Right.
You give them that coupon, they don't use it.
And they're trying to figure out how do they make money? Well, they're making money from the retailers, because the retailers they're promoting the retailers, but the retailers are paying them money to promote. So everybody's getting paid.
They make money from advertising.
They're redirecting their marketing.
Right.
They put it in social media instead of putting the money into some other company, which is really not proven really a lot of results. There's a lot of marketing companies that you pay to up your ante, and sometimes it's just not producing. But if you go directly to the consumer and you say, "Hey, look, if I can give you $15 a person,"
right?
I've seen people make $2,000, $3,000 off of this.
You know what's ingenious, bro? That even the people that saying it's a scam, when they're posting it saying it's a scam, you're still promoting.
Right. Yes.
So it's free promotion, and y'all helping this platform become a multi-billion-dollar platform and don't even know it. You don't have to believe in it.
You don't have to believe in it.
So now all
the
5,000 followers that you have, or the 2,000 friends that you have, you're saying it. So they go invest, and somebody with some sense is go listen. Like we just listened to you, because I didn't know what it was. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't had time to really invest. I know that you into. I started to call you, but I never said it was a scam, because all I saw 20 people on my timeline said, "Hey, I got $100 from this," or "I got $50 from this." So I'm like, well, it must be something ingenious. But I'm not gonna say it's a scam, you know.
Right.
Until I really take the time to investigate it and research it.
That's what it is. You know, a lot of people are ignorant to it. You know, you could throw out, "I can get your credit score to this in 2 months." That's impossible.
Yeah.
Why? Well, we get that when we teach it in class. We tell people, that we got people that can help with their credit and do the trade lines, and they look like, well, I don't believe you.
Right.
You don't call a treadmill a scam.
Right. Say it again, Theo.
Hey, say that again. Hey,
You don't call a treadmill a scam.
Right.
Put the work in.
Right.
Or these fad diets. And
that's a
diet
great
pills and
analogy,
all
bro.
that
I like
kind of-
that.
Yeah.
You're going to put some
when
work
they
in
say
either
no,
way.
go to Theo.
But what I realized, hey, they say no,
right
go
there.
to Theo.
Yes.
But what I realize is that there are just people out there that are they have been burned or something has happened,
Yes.
and they just been so hurt by it that they just refuse to get involved or be around
Man.
it. So as
Go
soon
deeper
as
in
they
that.
see something, come on, man. Look,
Right.
we was in a program several
ourselves.
years ago where we was making this company 50 MLM.
Millions of
We was
dollars.
making them thousands of dollars. We did it in like 3 months. They called us and wanted to fly us out to. We got to looking at the numbers like, well, damn, these checks y'all cutting don't even make
Don't
sense.
reflect on what we was making.
You see, so it is stuff out there like that, but the problem is, like the Mont said, you got to research. If you research something and you understand, I went to the Better Biz Bureau. Soon as I seen people, look, this has been going on since like December the 1st is when I think I first seen something. At that point, I was like, scam. You know what I'm saying? But then, by time December 23rd roll around, I said, damn, it's a lot of people doing
Right.
this, making money. So I went and did my own research. And that's the key. Go do your own
man,
research.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Talk to people.
Because you might be able to do it yourself.
You might be able to do it yourself. And you know what? A lot of people have been able to do it
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
Put the work in, so they automatically say it's a scam. If you're not putting
Right.
the work in,
Right.
you can't call it a scam.
Right. You can't call it a scam if you ain't put no work in and if you don't know what it is.
So everything started as an idea.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what if we
It
just had an
does.
idea and we made it work?
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody just had an idea and they made
Exactly.
it work.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
Like-
like us, man, in this.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Had
it.
an idea and boom.
Another thing
Better
is,
work.
anybody in here in Bitcoin or anything?
Litecoin.
Not yet.
cryptocurrency?
Oh,
Not
God.
yet.
I keep hearing
I'm gonna
about
talk
it.
to all y'all after this.
They said it's hard to do.
Shut.
Litecoin, man.
What
Go
is it?
to
14. You was trading at 14 this morning, right? 14,000. Yeah.
go to Litecoin.
See, here's the thing.
Ripple.
Let me talk about this real quick. I'm about to educate y'all real quick. I ain't got no help in here, so I can't say it all. I'm terrible at explaining things thoroughly. I like to jump around, so I'll try and give you out a short version. Okay, cryptocurrency is the new exchange that people are utilizing to, not only make money but to grow wealth. So, cryptocurrency came out in like 2009, and basically back then, you could use a coin to buy a pizza for like $7 or something. That $7 pizza today is worth like 12 to 13 million. So what happened is these coins are somewhat taking the place of shares. Somebody decided that, these banks are, charging ridiculous prices to move money around. If I want to send $1 million to China or to Europe or whatever, I got to pay this crazy fee, $20,000 just to move $1 million. Why I got to pay that much? So this one guy, I forget his name, he came out with an ingenious way for money to move, and he's been utilizing this platform and trying it for up to about 12 years. 12 or 13 years.
He's a billionaire,
And then,
isn't he?
honestly, they don't even know who the person is.
Right.
Like whoever
Right.
created this, they created a platform and people just kept building on it. See, what cryptocurrency is how it works is that everybody's the bank. You got a phone, you got a phone, you got a phone, you got a phone. If we all got coins, we are our bank. If I want to send money to you, I can send that to you free of charge. If you want to send money to me, you can send it to me free of charge. Ain't no charge.
There's no middleman.
And it just happens just like that. So now the world is starting to pay attention to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So a lot of companies have jumped on board and created their own coin. So there's different parts of it.
Other
There's-
companies accept Bitcoin as a
yeah, a lot of people are starting to accept Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's
You realize it.
companies
You see
like-
how people are paying for money with their watches, paying for it with their
It
phones.
was all beta
Really,
testing.
is currency real?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
paper real? If it's just sitting in a
It's a
bank
debt
and you
note.
using your credit card, it's already digital.
Yes.
It's all perception.
You see what I'm saying?
When we lose faith
It's all
in the
perception,
paper
anyway.
currency, then all this starts to become reality, and it's more important that we position ourselves as the
Invest in it
mindset
now.
so that we can
Absolutely.
be on point because
Yeah.
the
Invest in
banks
it now.
are ready to lend money when you are positioned. Know that
Absolutely.
they're in business to lend money, so they want to give the money. And then when you you're positioned correctly, you can do so much, and you can do that thing that we all want to do, which is leave the legacy for our family.
Yeah.
But it's just so important for us to just change the mind state.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. We got to get involved.
And you also got to go to KNTinvestmentdevelopments.com.
Okay.
Book your
put
book
that
your
in the link.
class
Plug yourself.
That
Plug
link
it.
in your,
Plug
in the
yourself.
comment section.
Baby, shout out to my queen, baby, that already plugged
Oh,
Yeah,
shout
She
out.
got your
Demar,
back.
make sure you put your credit
Yeah.
club up.
Yeah.
Oh, your phone
Mine.
there?
Hey, as a
I
matter
see
of
it
fact,
too
man,
right
can you
there.
tell the viewers, man, your company name?
It's Millionaires Credit Club. The website
just the name.
is millionairescreditclub.com.
Nice.
Here, let me type that in real
Are we
quick.
doing the outro?
No, not yet.
No.
I just want to put your information in there for some of the people that's been watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Millionaires Credit Club, or you can find me on social media, Demont Nixon, NICKSON. Instagram is Demont the Mogul, and you can inbox me. And I have a staff that works for me, but I try to answer your questions for free. And then we also do a free blueprint. So if you just want to know where you are, how to get to where you're trying to get to, just inbox us. We'll look at your credit, give you a free blueprint, and then you decide whether you want to, move forward with it.
We want the bat phone number.
Yeah.
Right.
Give us the direct line number.
Yeah, we want the
Might
bat
not
phone
get it.
number.
Right.
You still might not
Not
get
the
an
one that
answer.
just got cut off. We want the other.
Well, you ain't lying.
Oh, that's nice.
I had a question about that 20 grand, borrowing 20 grand from the bank. Do you actually have to use the money, or can you just borrow 20, hold on to it, pay that 20 back in installments, and then get another 20?
You can.
Okay.
You'll have interest though.
Yeah.
But
Millionaire
in
Millionaire
installment, I
credit
mean
card.
that would be an installment loan. So, but I push business
Credit.
lines of credit.
Yeah.
So even if you borrow a business line of credit, you have to use it.
No, you just
Okay.
use what you
pay on what you
pay on
use.
what you use. Yeah.
So if you
Okay.
get 80 and you only use 60, they only billing you on 60. So people that are for houses, they get a line of credit and you don't use all of it to fix up the house. You only pay on what you use.
So I'm guessing. So if I get a business line of credit, that means I'm using my EIN or my social security number.
You're using your EIN
Yeah.
and your social
And your
security
social.
number.
So therefore, they're going to expect me to use that money.
No.
You do what you want to with it. It's
Okay.
yours.
So that's what I'm saying. Could I get a business line of credit, not use that for anything, but to just borrow it just to improve
let me lay it out like this. So think of credit just like you having a credit card.
Right.
We didn't go into credit card usage or if you have credit cards, how much you should use. We didn't talk about that, but the rule of thumb is 30%. I have my people commit to 20. All right, so just say a bank gives you $10,000 line of credit.
Okay.
It's just like having a credit card.
Right.
You only pay back what you use. So
Right.
if you have a $10,000 line of credit with the bank, then you're trying to build a relationship with them, then just use $1,000 and pay it off. Use $1,000 and pay it off, and you'll continue to get increases. A lot of our lines of credit that we do are zero interest. So just like right now, if you were to go get you a Chase Freedom, you wouldn't pay interest for 18 months. It's the same way with business lines of credit.
Right.
So the bank is giving you their money for 18 months, and you only gonna pay what you use.
Okay.
So you're not gonna pay any interest for it.
Okay.
Introductory rate of 18 months.
Okay.
Can you talk about the difference between a consumer card and a credit card?
What is a consumer card?
Consumer
Like
card,
your
like
department
like a
store?
retail card.
Yeah.
Like a retail.
It's better when building your portfolio. Some people they go through the line. They say, do you want to get Nordstrom's card or a Lowe's card? Those are going to be much higher interest rates than a Discover or Chase. I think Chase has the best. I'm a Chase fan. I think Chase has some of the best products.
Shout out, man, to Chase. Ray hates Chase, but that's
Chase.
I'm with you. PNC.
I
hate Chase.
I'm a
They charge you
PNC person.
$12 a month just to have an account.
I know
It's
he doesn't
ridiculous.
like
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
They
Chase
do.
is ridiculous.
So what was the question again?
The difference between a retail and a consumer card.
So
because
you're gonna pay much higher interest rates with a retail. I think that everybody now you have a lot of retail stores that are starting to get like their own MasterCards and their own Visas.
Yeah.
So,
They seen
so
the
like my
advantage.
Best Buy is not just the Best Buy card; it's also a MasterCard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sam's
so-
Club do it too. They
Sam's
have
Club
the
does it too,
MasterCard.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So those are good because it's not the interest. A lot of times your introductory rate is not as much. Now, even with the Chase Freedom Card, now your rate is going to go up after the 18 months to 25%.
Right.
You know, but when you learn how to use credit, you know that you shouldn't charge more than what you can pay off the next month anyway.
Right.
So you don't want to carry over a balance more than 20%. But if you really practice good credit, you pay everything off in full the next month, so you don't have to pay that interest.
What makes up a two-part question? This is for all three of you guys. What makes up your credit in percentage? You know, like debt to income ratio. You know, just break down those things. We'll start there first.
I don't remember the percentages.
Okay, because I think it's like 30%.
Yeah, some of it is your payment history. Some of it is your utilization. Some of it is
debt to income ratio.
Debt to income. Yeah.
So there's different parts of it.
Right. Yeah, it's broken up into a pie.
And if you get somebody that can do creative finance and they can work with different lenders, some of them are stronger on certain things, some of them are not. This lender might be really against student loans. This lender might be a little lenient. Well, this lender might be strong against hospital bills. So we have people in the industry that do creative financing, and they know how to work their way around those things, so you can still get financed. Like we got companies, you pay on time for 2 years in a check, we can get you a mortgage. So it's all kind of ways, but like you said, it's the education. We talk about all this all day long, education.
Right.
I've had so many people since we've been on the show once that said, man, we never heard of the gray area. And they appreciate just you guys being in the show because they said, man, that was good information just to hear. And they didn't even want to get involved, but they were just glad that somebody is putting out information, especially in the African American community, because nobody's doing that. Everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to step out. And I think a lot of our African Americans, we don't have because we don't know.
Right.
Not because we can't. We don't know. Like you said, people can buy a house and don't know they can buy a house.
Right. That's exactly.
And they rent.
You're right. That's exactly why we put together this platform so that we could put out information like this. You know, so many times, and a lot of this stuff. You know what? This stuff is out there, but it feels good hearing it from somebody that know more about it.
And
you
somebody
know,
that's living a
lot
life
of,
too.
Right.
That has experience.
There's a lot of visual learners and a lot of listeners that would
We're
like
real
to,
people. We're not billionaires. Was born with 10 billion in our account. We're real people. Giving out real information. We like I say, he's from Indianapolis. He don't live here now, but real people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all done been there. I done filed bankruptcy 13 years ago. Real people. And I'm a stickler on that. Like I said, that's why they got me in Amway. You let me talk to this guy that's been rich all his life. How does he inspire me?
Right.
He ain't been, the struggle's real.
That's true.
And I look up more to somebody who's been on the grind and he came up than somebody who just started at the top.
Right, which is why it's good, and Demont mentioned this several times, is that you position yourself around people who know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. You know, you as I think you had posted this online one time, but you as best as the 5 people that's around you. You know what I'm saying? So if the circle of people around you are all broke,
you're gonna chances are you're gonna be broke.
Big chance you probably gonna be broke too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't broke, you gonna be broke because they gonna be borrowing money from you the whole time. You know, and that doesn't mean and then when we get information, and this is what gets me. We have to stop holding on to that information. You know what I'm saying? When you learn something, you're obligated to teach somebody else that you know. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you teach them and they don't do nothing with it, that's their problem.
Yeah, your hands is off of it.
That's their problem. I told you about it. You can't say I didn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? I do that to them all the time. I'm like, I found out something new, making some money. Y'all should do it.
And
that's 4 months later, they be like, how we get in that?
We try
that been no damn 4 months later. Go somewhere.
We try to teach people that not only when you work with KNT, we try to position you that when we come to you and say, hey, Ray, we got a chance to get an apartment building in Vegas or this big hotel. Y'all want to come together?
Yeah, with JV.
And we do that. And that's why.
And that's lacking.
Go ahead. But I just, what I wanted to say was, he had mentioned something about them becoming their own hedge fund group or something like that. I called
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why we wasn't invited on
you weren't invited to the meeting?
Well, now you can't be invited.
Okay, because we do that too. Because we're trying to be our own bank.
At the end of the day,
and there's one in Atlanta. We're trying to be our own minority-owned bank.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
and we deal with the hedge funds right now. In real estate.
Nice.
So that's why I told you earlier, we try to put the right people on our team so we can be the team. Like we talking about him in Expo. If we go get the whole corner downtown convention, they gonna know something about us when they leave the Expo.
Absolutely.
Isn't it amazing how many of us don't know just vocabulary of finance and the vocabulary of having money and credit hedge funds, you know? How many in our community have never heard that word or know what it means, you know?
Can we do similar? Some people be like, huh? When he talks about the hedge fund, they be like, what?
Right. Is that lawn care service?
What?
You know one thing
Sonic the Hedgehog.
one thing that sticks out to me real strongly is the fact that we have to understand that banks are desiring to do business and build relationships with us. DeMont has spoke on it, and my partner spoke on it. You can have several different banks who are thirsty for the relationship for Ebony, for Patrick, for Ray, for Tony, for Keith, for these gentlemen behind me, and that relationship is long lasting, and it helps you to build the wealth. Because again, y'all, they want to give it to us, and there's so many programs out there for not only just African American businesses, but just people in general who want to do something and succeed in it, and we're there.
Absolutely.
It's there for
Can I say something to business owners who are trying to expand, and you know if I have a competitor, I'm gonna look at what my competitor has that I don't have, and a lot of times your competitors, with the thing that you're lacking, is the resources and the funding that you need in order to expand, put money into marketing, or to expand your product line, or to start marketing in other markets. So, to me, if you need to position yourself to be in the position that those other businesses are in. So most of them, I'm willing to guarantee you, because I meet a lot of business owners, if anybody is passing you up and they have more money than you, it's not because they're necessarily making more money than you, is that they have business lines of credit. And a lot of times that's based upon your personal credit. So if you're in business and you have bad credit, then you need to fix your credit, because if you have receivables, or you have, credit card receivables, or you can get money, you can get lines of credit on money you don't even know that you have coming in. It's just based upon your personal credit score. But you need to position yourself so that you have lines of credit, so that you can do, like he said, like Expo, booths at Expo, or trade shows, or travel, or any of those things. Like, you need to expand. And so, I know we're not closing yet, but the thing is that I said that I'm preaching next year is a new blueprint. So, your blueprint is your life blueprint. If you Google Martin Luther King, he did a sermon about life's blueprints, and I look at it every single day. But if you look at, you have to know what your life blueprint is. And then going into a new year, I said it earlier, you have to have a blueprint. Anybody that follows me, they all call me, they all say they want to meet with you because I'm trying to get my new blueprint. But you have to realize that your old blueprint is no good. Right. So you really have to go back and search through all the old stuff that you've learned, and you have to unlearn the old stuff and learn new stuff. Right. Yeah. So, and a lot of times in learning the new stuff, you have to take risks that you wouldn't normally take, because your blueprint is not good. Right. And it's not saying that you're not going to be successful. It's just some things that you need to change. Yeah. And you might have to wake up earlier. You might have to not go out. You might have to not put money into shoes and clothes and stuff that depreciates. You might have to take your money, like he said, and put it into Bitcoin, or to expanding your business, or your ideas, or getting a patent, or whatever the case may be. But you have to have a life blueprint. You have to have a short-term and a long-term blueprint. And that, a lot of times, if you don't know what you're doing, like I said, you have to find you somebody to help you. Yeah. And if you knock on the door and they say humble, no, man. You have to go. What I do is, if it's somebody in the business, and that's the business that I'm striving to be in, and I feel like they're at the top, then I'm gonna go and ask them to mentor me. So like you said, you're mentoring him. I'm gonna go and ask them to mentor me. If they say no, then I'm gonna find the next business. So out of millions, it's 7 billion people in this world. Everybody's not gonna turn you down. Right, so you gotta find somebody to show you, because and mentor you. I wanted to be a millionaire so bad in my life ever since I was a kid. I studied millionaires for 2 years. I could tell you every characteristic of a millionaire. I could tell you where they shop. I could tell you where they put their money. I could tell you that they don't drive $100,000 cars. I could tell you that they have 7 streams of income. I could tell you the type of people they surround themselves by. I could tell you all of those things because I study millionaires. So you have to study, you have to learn how to change your surroundings, and some of the people that I watch, they teach you, they say that you are only as good as your environment. So you have to take yourself out of that environment and change your circle of people and your circle of friends, because you'll only be as good as those people.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, we had a Freeway Rick Ross on the show before.
Yeah.
And shout out to Rick Ross. Freeway, the real, right? Be specific.
Weekend, right?
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah.
And we had asked him, like, what would you have done differently? And he talked about how he used to play tennis, and he would go into affluent neighborhoods and play tennis, and with affluent, I guess, children of affluent people. And he was talking about how he was surrounded by people with so much money, but he never asked questions. And he never, I guess, took advantage of that opportunity to be around people with money. And, he was saying how that could have, because he was a teenager at the time, and how that could have actually changed his whole blueprint, of his life.
Yeah.
And just to use this as a segue, Mikhail's been back here taking, like, y'all should see these notes he's been taking.
I'm telling
this child
y'all,
has a
this
Bible.
dude's gonna be a billionaire.
Yes, he has a Bible. And I just think that is so important that he's in this room.
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking at the room and I'm scanning all us young folks. Everybody in here, young people. And I'm like, man, our grandparents, our parents, look at how this wasn't available, in my opinion, to our parents and grandparents. They didn't have these platforms.
Mikhail calls me.
Yeah.
And he called me too. I be like, man, this dude is on it.
Yeah, he is. So our parents and grandparents didn't, or they didn't have people that were willing to share, from our community. So I just think this is so awesome that Mikhail is in the room. And, I want him to come up and,
Come and speak real
We
quick.
got to give a shout.
Mikhail's
mom is a great mom. I'll give a shout to her.
Absolutely.
Because
Shout out
she's
to Mia
instilled
Cobb.
this.
Yeah.
To help Mikhail to, to understand that's how he does. But like I say, he calls me and keep and be on us. I'd be like, hold on, that's KNT.
Yeah. Shout out to Bloom Project. Prodigy.
Shout out.
Oh, Kale Production.
Yeah. Kale Production. So, you represent the young people today. We don't see a lot of young people with the drive that you got.
Yeah, man.
The aspirations of what you want to be. When you came to me and you wanted to learn about web development and you told me you was doing, I was like, look, I'll teach you some real stuff, the shortcuts and all the good stuff to get you there faster. And you took all that in. I even gave him a project. I was like, I want you to go research this. And then I paid him to do a project for a website, and he knocked it out. And I said, that's the kind of drive that we have to inspire. So shout out to Mia Cobb. I don't know what you gave this young man or what's in him, but the drive that you have is going to get you very far. So
absolutely.
If you could talk to your constituents, people your age, what would you tell them? What's your drive?
For me, I just had a plan. I mean, Kale Productions is my business. I launched it this summer, but I made the plan for it when I was a freshman. And I said I was just going to learn everything I needed to learn from the time I was a freshman to the time I was a senior. I'm a senior now, and I launched the business, and the business has been booming.
Absolutely.
As you can see, I work with you on. You give me projects, I do them. I have my own projects. I do marketing for KNT. So, I do a lot of things.
We hired him.
Absolutely.
We hired him the other day.
Absolutely. Oh, that's
So we
big.
hired Kale Productions. He wears 2 hats.
That's
He's
big.
an intern, and we hired him. So
That's big.
2 streams of income. You got
Big
2, you
time.
need 5
He
more.
wants to learn the music now too,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna work with him on that.
Hey, get ready to
Well,
fly.
I got
ready to fly.
I got something to say. I'm probably just go hire him. Just come. I'm about to take him from all of y'all.
Oh, okay.
So he's coming to the West Coast, and y'all gonna have to find y'all another intern.
Hey, you got the right one.
Tell us what Kale Productions.
Oh, well, Kale Productions, I do web development, graphic design, marketing, logos, and also ads and apps.
Okay, you have a website?
Yeah, actually, I haven't launched it yet, but I'm planning on launching
Okay.
it.
It's nice though. I've seen
Alright,
the
be on the lookout.
pre-production.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
man.
I got social media, so I got Instagram. It's it's King_Kel00.
And what would you say to your people your age, you know? Because, I mean, what kills me is that we turn on the news every day and we see some young kids out there, you know, probably in places they have no business being, and sometimes they're just products of their environment. What would you say to those kids that's looking for a way out?
I mean, you just gotta have a drive, really. I mean, you gotta have a good support system. Like I have my mom, and she actually got me a credit card when I was 17. So
Nice.
she did I forgot what you call it when you put
Authorized
she
user.
put me on authorized.
Yeah.
My credit score is a 740.
Nice.
At
Nice.
18 years old.
Nice.
And I told her I wasn't gonna touch it, so she like, well, you're gonna be at an 800 if you don't touch it. I'm like, I'm not gonna touch it.
There you go.
Wow.
So, I mean,
That's what it's all about.
We just had a plan. I had a support system, and then I just reach out, and I'm not scared to, like he said, knock on doors and
Absolutely.
like, help me. Like I call you, I
Yeah,
call him
absolutely.
every day.
Absolutely.
I even called him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I would
Yeah.
call because I want to learn. I want to be a millionaire. And they
Right.
say I'm just doing what millionaires do.
There you go.
But everybody likes
he hanging
everybody
around the right
likes
people.
Mikhail. Let me tell you what happened about 2 weeks ago. We have a lady that's talking about earlier that works with us. She actually
Yeah.
wrote a book
Yep.
called Flipping
Nuts.
Flipping Nuts.
Okay.
I said, hey, I got a
What?
young man that works with us, and he's really stop it. He's really,
Flag on the plate.
he's really
Fact.
eager. So she said, you know what? I'll meet him. We had breakfast. She met him, signed his book, and so Mikhail was talking about somebody on one of the TV house flipping shows. She said, oh, this person? Pulled it right up there.
Wow.
So she said, okay, we're here. She gave him all his information.
Wow.
Like, here, you can have all the information,
There you
have her
go.
information. And I was like, man, everybody just shout
Right.
out to
Gravitates
Mikhail
to him.
again.
His energy,
Gravitates
man.
to him, and his
Yeah.
energy just keeps us going.
Yeah.
It's killing me.
Shout out to Callie, who wrote the book.
Yeah,
If you're listening, you know we love you.
But that is great. We want to inspire them. We're
Yeah,
gonna
man.
working with Ebony and hope we get this out there to the youth, just for a learning curve, so they don't have to go down that road
Absolutely.
of having the bad credit. If we can cut it off,
Right.
everybody talks about the problem. Well, let's try to prevent it from even happening.
Absolutely. And this goes to show you why, you know, you talked about this in the beginning, why it's important to position yourself, the parent, the person that's going through that now.
Yeah.
Whether
Right.
you're young or old, now is the time to position yourself. Let 2018 be that moment that's yours.
Yeah.
I
You know-
have a lady who is 82 years old in my credit club, and she told me, she said she's never had 700 scores. So we were talking. She said she's never been in the 700 range, and for him to tell me he's 18 years old,
Right.
he's like, so that gives you something that encourages a lot of people, because.
Right.
A lot of people have never. She said, I've always had to do special financing when I got a car. I never was taught credit. I've always just paid cash. And she said, I've always had to have higher interest rates when it came to, you know, my loans. She was like, is it possible? I said, I'm gonna get you there. Trust me, I'm gonna get you there. And she's went up a lot since we started in the last month or two. So I just want to say that you know, it's possible, but you have to be willing to do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
But even if you're okay with your situation, just looking at him, a person should get themselves together for their kids.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So just think his mother got him a credit card at 17.
Right.
Okay, so
Thinking ahead.
she's giving him more than what I feel like college gives people.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's
Right.
giving him the
That's a
tools.
good point.
She's giving
Wow.
him the tools to
That's
get
a good
out
point.
here, and money will never be his issue if he has. Money would never be an issue for him to start an idea or launch an idea as long as he has good credit.
Right.
So his
Right.
mother gave him those tools.
Gave him the
And now,
keys.
because
Wow.
the way I look at it is our kids are lent to us.
Right. Yeah.
We're just supposed to.
All right now.
We're just supposed
Come
to,
on.
you know, give them the tools
So I can take mine
to get
back.
ready to go into the real world.
Right.
And a lot of times,
Stop.
I've been guilty of
You're wrong
it.
for that.
Is
Stop.
I love my
we
babies.
get our kids material things, and we're
Right.
we're not teaching them the right values.
Right.
By getting them material things, we're getting them. Kids now have more than what we've ever had.
Man.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
and the reason why we do that is because we're trying to compensate
Yes.
by what we didn't get. You know,
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but the thing we didn't get was the value of credit.
Right.
And if we had learned that, where would we be at 30?
Right.
You know,
exactly. In my 30s, I didn't learn about nothing.
Right.
I wasn't a Jordan kid. I was a Converse and
most people
Payless
that
kid,
come and get in my program are 30 or above, because that's when you get into the mindset. You're like, I want to get a house for my family.
Right.
Or, hey, what is this credit thing? Like, people think credit is bad, but when you're growing up and you learn that credit is the key to your success.
Absolutely.
And because not
to happiness, to
I
success.
moved from here to
achieve.
LA. I moved from here to LA, and LA was the best thing that ever happened to me. And what I learned in LA was that no matter what level you're on, there's always a new dimension to get to. Mm-hmm. Okay, but another thing that I also learned about it is that everybody that I meet in the entertainment industry, you know what they're looking for? They're looking for an investor.
Right.
And the thing I'm trying to get them to understand is that, why you go wait for an investor? Why don't you just become the investor?
Right.
But if you don't have credit, which is the bank's money, which that's what an investor uses. I invest.
Right.
So if I'm going to invest into your project, I'm going to use my line of credit from the bank.
Right.
I'm going to charge you some more points onto it.
Right.
And I'm going to pay it back when you pay me back. So I'm going to take the risk with the bank's money. I'm not going to take it with my personal money.
Absolutely.
But you have to position yourself to be the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the only way you can do that is to access the bank's resources.
Right.
So you have to get your credit together. It starts with yourself. It doesn't start with an investor.
Right.
But I got one quick note. I want everybody to remember. We keep talking about Mikhail, but we always push school is first.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I told him that the first thing I told him, we can hire you. I'll help you to the end. Make sure it's okay with your mother, and make sure do not interfere with your schoolwork.
Absolutely.
I said, because if you interfere with your schoolwork, then we can wait, because we're going to always be here. Absolutely. But that is the main thing we want you to forget. Do not forget about school.
Yeah.
He has a success story,
vital,
but he still makes sure he still maintains good grades. And that's what we want to stress. Don't get caught up in the hype because you got a little talent. He just got natural talent.
Right.
But don't get caught up in the hype where you forget about your groundwork.
Right.
All these stars and these old school artists, they got all their money taken because they didn't have no education.
Absolutely.
And that's what we stress to him. His mother makes sure she don't care about nothing else. He got to get that schoolwork.
Right.
And that's what I want to stress to the people, the young people out here. School, school, school. Because if you don't have no education, you will lose. Because people will make it look good on paper.
Right.
Yeah. And your lack of knowledge will let you be the fool.
Right.
See, when we come in, we teach people, we don't train to lose.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, my motto is like, I started researching, and the more people I came across, you see people who like have degrees but don't do nothing with them.
Right.
And so my motto is like, if you're gonna go to school, but make school work for you. So like, don't
there you go.
Like when you're in school, use your tools like networking.
Absolutely.
I was like, this degree is gonna get me through the door, but it's not gonna get the job done.
Mark Zuckerberg. It was all networking for him, and he created Facebook. He didn't finish
what
college.
I'm saying. And I'm in the IT business, so I know how it works. Like, it's not gonna make you a millionaire. You gotta make that paper. You gotta make that paper work.
Right.
Steve
right.
Jobs.
That's
Steve Jobs didn't have a degree.
That's a
Bill
very
Gates
good
didn't
point.
have a degree.
Because a lot of people got
That's a good
degrees.
point.
What that mean?
Warren Buffett either.
Right. A degree is a degree is something that will help you. Let's not get off track on that, because a degree will help you.
It'll help you for a job.
But don't use that to say you're gonna be a millionaire one day. I mean, really, you can be a millionaire without having a degree. Yeah. But what a degree does is, in the meantime, is really a backup plan, so that this is what happens. If you got an associate's degree, companies have to pay you a certain amount of money for that associate's degree. Yeah. If you have a bachelor's degree, companies have to pay you a certain amount. That's why you hear underqualified or overqualified. Yeah. You hear that a lot, depending on what kind of degree you have. Yeah. So definitely, if you're not a business owner, if you just like a working person and you want to move up in corporate America or whatever, get you a degree. Even because they're going to have to pay you a certain amount of money. Yeah. But most entrepreneurs don't care about college. No. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of them find out that when they college was a waste of time when they start making the money they made, because it wasn't necessary for them to use their degree in that field. Now that doesn't mean that you can't make a lot of money in that degree field, that you're in. There's a lot of people who get a degree and they go on to make money and they get into the corporate and the CEO or director, whatever. You can make money that way. But if you're an entrepreneur, you can make money quicker understanding business, having a great credit line, business credit line, understanding how to use your profit, how to use your income to to be better. You know.
Yeah, you get diverse when you, especially in the real estate game, you're able to make different moves with your credit score and all that. And some people aren't. And some people say, well, you helped him, and he came right out. Well, how did he do this? Well, when you can go get that line of credit and just say, bam, here I go. If you can go to the bank and say they gave you $60,000.
Right.
When we buy your house with a tenant already in it, ready to go for 34.
Yeah.
You're good. Then you pay back, or you get it and flip it. You pay it right back off. Then you keep doing that. Pretty soon, hey, we gonna see this bill, and you say, well, I can come in with 500,000.
Right.
He go to his people and say, I got 500,000. Here you come. And now, but when we go to the table, it's one entity. They don't know everybody else. But that's all the big companies do. It's just a face.
Right. That's what we talk about.
That's how Diddy about to buy this team.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Come on. And I can't believe it's always somebody that's got to say something negative about it.
So we just talked about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we just talked about that.
If Diddy buy it, get that team. You know what I'm saying?
Get that man in one day, bro.
But we can be that team.
Yeah.
And that's what we was holding it out. But KNT want to challenge the gray area of people.
Absolutely.
That we can strive. We are striving for the youth.
Yeah.
And we want you guys to help us.
We got you.
Help everybody. We got to take over this world, man.
Yeah.
There are 151 homicides, and
Come on.
I see it every day.
There's a shootout on Post Road and
they had a police shooting in the middle of the street.
Yep.
So we are telling you guys to help us.
Absolutely.
Please get this information to these youth. If
For
we
sure.
do this, this, we can all. Personally, I don't care what it takes.
Yeah.
We got to help the people.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We got to protect.
We're
our
with
future.
you, man. You know?
Absolutely.
Teaching them about credit, teaching them about how to build wealth, teaching them about multiple streams of income, teaching about doing stuff like this.
Right.
Like I say, it's head to brag on him, but man, a man of his age, and he already want to do that.
Head of the game.
He told me when I'm 25, Tony, we're gonna get on the plane, my jet.
Absolutely.
He know I don't
And it's
fly.
gonna happen.
But you better be flying with him.
Look, you
You
better
say
call
you be
me.
flying with him.
You better call me. I'm trying to get on the jet.
You better call me too, man.
Yeah. So we want to challenge y'all to work with us. Come on. We got to do that, man. We got to educate these people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of the primary reasons why we created this platform, man. So yeah, we're
Like the Future Farmers of America, they come here every year.
Every year.
That's the biggest event. Those kids already gonna be selling crops to
they
Walmart.
will.
Absolutely.
Why can't we have something for our people?
Right.
Yeah.
It's all getting educated on everything. Positioning yourself.
You
We
know,
can't
there's
say
only-
that enough.
there's only like 6 black-owned grocery stores, man, in this country.
That's sad.
Yeah, I believe 6.
That's sad.
That's unbelievable.
And not
man.
because we don't have people to have the knowledge to run them.
Yeah, it's just a lack of resources.
Like I say, people don't know about funding. They don't know how to get the
Right.
funding.
That's
Education,
the
yeah.
money's there. The money's there.
Other ethnic groups, they know about funding. That's
Yeah.
Absolutely,
how
man.
they're buying up, entire
Absolutely.
neighborhoods.
Yeah, entire neighborhoods, man.
And stop being
Plazas,
scared to take a
whole
risk.
plazas, man. They got like
You know what I'm
20
saying?
stores in one plaza, man.
But they scared.
Tearing down
There it is.
Stop being scared to take a risk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly,
you buy
man.
the park. Take
Yeah,
the monument
yeah.
down. There you go. That's a start.
But they scared to take the risk. Our people of our country, for some reason, I guess because we grew up not having so much.
Yeah.
You
And
want
we've
to try
been
to
taught to
hold
be
on
workers,
to
man.
everything. So
Yeah.
you're scared to say, okay, we're gonna all put in our 500,000. We might lose, but that's life. Every day you wake
That's
up,
the
or you
risk
close
you
your
take,
eyes, you
yeah.
take a risk.
Yeah.
We've been
Because
and we've
tomorrow
been
ain't promised.
Right.
and we've been taught to just be workers, man.
That's it.
That's
That's
right.
it. I mean, that's
This is what
yeah.
we do. I put this on Facebook not too long ago. You will spend $1,500. Think about that on Christmas gifts. Let's just say Christmas gifts. Your Christmas. You got a couple of Xboxes. You fleeced on the clothes. And $1,500. Back in the early part of December. One of the I'm going back to Bitcoin, was $60. I bought 14 of them $60 coins. By the time Christmas came, coins was worth $300 something a piece. Now you multiply that. What I'm saying is, I had to take a risk. I set aside $1,000, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy them all with this coin. Whatever. I'm just gonna throw $1,000 on it. If I lose it, it's okay. I had that $1,000 to lose.
Right.
Or I could have spent that $1,000 on Christmas and never got it back. But I took a risk, and I made $7 to $8,000 from that. So that's the risk I'm talking about. We had to stop being scared to take a risk. Even if you lose it, so what? If you think about the year and how much money you spent on stuff,
And how much
how much did you lose?
waste?
But you can have one win that cover up 2 losses.
That cover everything.
Yeah.
That's,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
the thing.
That's the risk you got to start taking.
Yeah, that one thing, that one prosperous can get rid of all this.
That's the risk. You know what I'm saying? So even when you trying to prepare your credit, you know, like you were saying before, some people are hesitant on putting that money in. Like, I don't know where it's going to go. But you rightfully so. But you got to understand, do your research. If you find out that, hey, this is the way to go, I'm going to put my money in there and get you fixed up. We've all been a product. I've been a product of DeMont's program. I mean, tenfold. You know what I'm saying?
But America's lazy.
But America is lazy. You got to be willing to get in and take the risk.
It is.
Everybody, we just want it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Society's making it so we can just get it.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
All that stuff they're taking over.
Right.
Because you
right.
can get it. No, come on in.
Gary, I'm telling y'all right now, Gary. I better start looking at Gary. Like I'm about to holler at y'all. We better go get some property in Gary. They about to. This company is not even a. It's not even a company that's from here. And we gonna close out. It's not a company that's from here, coming from Asia somewhere. They about to buy up the whole city and renovate it, but they letting it go bad first. You see, they letting it get so bad.
So the value of it goes low, and then
so bad. But I'm telling you, I'm keeping my eye on Gary.
Hey, Flint is doing it in Tennessee right now. Those are two
Absolutely. But
man, what about Kentucky?
That's how everything works.
Mean,
they let
Kentucky
is
a poor state,
and they go in and buy it, and then they make it increase.
But if we go
we
in
got to get
as
on
a
that.
team, buy as a team,
you get more.
We prosper as a team.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's where it starts first. All right, hey y'all, this has been a great discussion. You know, I could talk for another hour, but I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna do that to the viewers. People go to work in the morning.
But don't forget, we open KNT. If you guys got any questions, leave it on the site. We'll answer any of your questions. Anybody got youth? We're open. We're trying to make it all happen.
For sure. Let's do the closing remarks real quick. You guys go ahead and talk about KNT Investments real quick. Then,
like my partner said, KNT Investment Developments. You go to the website. We have a live chat. You can click on it, interact with us right away. There's also a section you can fill out your question, and we will respond back. You also find us at capital KT Investment on Facebook. We're also on all the other social media platforms. Where we at? Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. All of that, all those things. But then, just to close off, I want to thank Gray Area Media for just having us back, and most importantly for the knowledge that we get with all these individuals coming in here. And certainly want to give a shout out to my mother. Thank you, Mama, for helping me budget.
Yeah, shout out, Mom.
Shout out to my queen. 24 and going strong.
Nice,
and,
man. Congrats,
my
man.
Family.
That's it. Trying to get dinner tomorrow.
Yeah,
but you can check us out on all the social media, and we have a big seminar coming up. So, and we're going to be giving away the book.
What date is that?
January the
27th. It was a Wednesday.
No, it's last Saturday in January, 27th, and then we're going to make it. We'll put it on our Facebook page where you can come and pre-register and you get the book for free. You'll be able to meet the lady and sign. And we'll have invite you guys out. They want to meet you guys. That's
okay.
And so we can try to promote. And man, I just want to give a shout out to you, brother. It's good meeting you guys.
Real quick, I want to. If they say no, go see Theo.
Go see Theo.
No, man, you have to bring the Theo out. If they say no, go see Theo.
All right.
No problem.
Hey, if you need a vehicle, you know, and your credit is shot or you got great credit, go see Theo. He's gonna hook you up, get you taken care of. Man, Jermaine back here, Shooting Stars Foundation. You are still looking for volunteers, correct? Correct. For your foundation. Could you just speak on that real quick? I want to make sure we get that in.
So basically with Shooting Stars, it's kind of what we were talking about with the kids and development.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things is that a lot of kids lack the resources.
Right.
So
they want it, but they don't have access to it.
Right. So what we do is we try to redirect them to a different path of living. And it goes as far as financial literacy, even deeper than that, because the core is, let's say, social awareness, it's character building, life skills. I mean, there's so many different things that they lack. So what we try to do is we just try to give back to them. So that's one thing with DeMont, Theo, myself, we just try to give back. So that's just something for us just to give back. So
you guys just did a big thing down at the Country Kitchen and a couple other places too.
Yeah, we partnered with a lot of IPS schools, charter schools.
Yeah.
And right now we're working on a building with our
awesome
club.
And call us, man. We'll be glad to help out.
Absolutely.
KNT, let us know we can do anything.
There you go.
We'll come and help out.
That's the networking in us right there. DeMont.
I want to stress to everybody in this room. I want to stress to everybody that's listening and everybody that's going to watch this later on is that in order for your life to change and in order for you to be the best version of you, you have to evaluate your life blueprint. So you have to look at the way that you've been doing things, and you have to, instead of going into a new year setting goals and not following through like you have every other year, let's put together a plan and let's determine what hasn't worked in the previous years, and let's concentrate on those areas of our life so that we can be the best version of us. Amen. If that's our finances and we lack in our finances, then let's find somebody whose strength is in finances to help us to help us with our finances and to help us budget and to help us figure out what we need to cut back on, because we might need to give up some things. And I know that, a lot of my money goes into eating out. So I've had to scale back. And I have the money, but I have to scale back because I want to put more money into my business. So a lot of my money goes into clothes. I had to scale back shopping because I want to put more money into my business. So we find the resources to do what we want to do. Amen. So I just want everybody to be the best version of them in 2018. Nice. And that's going to require a new plan. And that's going to require you opening yourself up to be transparent, to say, hey, I need some help. This isn't working. I'm humble. Looking at my life, and I don't want to end 2018 the same way that I ended 2017. Because if you do, insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting the result. We say that, we know the definition, but many of us are duplicating each year, year after year, because you know why? Because we're not changing. So we have to change our plan, and if we don't have the resources or we don't have the knowledge, then we have to be willing to say, "Hey, brother, you're stronger in the area than I'm in, so I need your help."
Right. Absolutely.
You have to be willing to say, "Hey, I need help." So I just want everybody to be the best version of them, but I also want you to evaluate and your credit, and to know that credit to me is 99%. 99% of a reason why you should want good credit is because it can help you out of mostly any financial situation.
Especially living in America.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody looks at your credit. Your insurance prices are higher because you have bad credit. You can't get the resources you need because you have bad credit. Many of you are having to borrow student loans and get all kind of different loans and cash, all of that, and payday loans and every kind of loan because you have bad credit. So I just want you to focus on being the best you. And there are people out there that are making less than you and they have more than you. So just let's figure out why. And that takes looking at in the mirror and saying, hey, maybe I need more education in the area of finance.
Not to mention, high-paying jobs will deny you a job because they do look at your credit.
Oh, you have some department stores. You have some department stores that deny you because you have bad credit. Because you a risk to them.
Right. We don't need you taking nothing.
Exactly.
Right. Ebony.
Thank you, brothers, for giving us a wealth of knowledge. This is the Gray Area's last show of the year.
Yes, it is.
And I just thought this was such an amazing way to end the year, but not just end the year, but begin the next year. And I think this is just really, viewers, use this. This is your financial Bible right here. And then you have the resources to, contact everybody in this room. Anything you need, a car. If you want your child to get involved in something, if you want your child to have a peer mentor, we got Mikhail. If you want to buy a house or invest in a house, if you want to build your credit, everything in this room is available, everybody. So, viewers, just want to encourage you to just not listen to the show and then forget about it. Their shows, the Gray Area shows that I literally save and go back and listen to them, like if I backslide on something, I'll go and watch our Eat to Live show, So treat it like your Bible, man. That's what this platform is for. It's to empower you, to improve you. So, go into 2018 strong.
There you go. He wills. Man, sis took like most of them. Man.
He always be quiet over there. He be in the back door.
Yeah, man, listen. Hey, listen, man. Look, I want to thank y'all, man, for coming, man. man, just giving us all these diamonds, man. So, you know, we can utilize it, you know, all the knowledge next year. Well, now and next year and beyond. You know, like what Sis said, you know, this is our last show, man. Dude, it's been a year, man.
A year.
That's crazy, right? A year.
Shout out to a whole year, man.
Great area.
Shout out 1 year. 1 full year.
That's crazy, man. It's unbelievable, man.
80,
you know,
this is our 80. I think this is our 80th show.
Yeah, wow. And you know, it just shows, man. Like, you know, when you have a thought, man, and you just manifest that thought, man. You know, man, through just prayer and hard work. What happens? I mean, you know, it's a beautiful thing. Shout out to, you know, all the viewers, man, that's been, you know, rocking with us all year.
Major support.
Please share this, man. You know, out of like all of our shows are important, but you know, just us as people, man. You know, we need to get our credit right. You know, learn more about ownership and, you know, things like that, so we can pass that stuff down to our kids, and that cycle could just be repeated.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. You know, salute to y'all, man. And look, I'm gonna get with you, man. I'm gonna set everything up right. All right. Hopefully, man, Thursday or Friday, man, just hit me or I'll call you and then.
You know I do that too.
Do you? Wait, man, well, come in here then.
I had to studio.
You mentioned that. Yeah, man, you mentioned that, man. Yeah, okay. Bet, well, you know, you come too.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
You come too, man. Yeah, but thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. DeMott, man, my bad, man. I'm not calling you, bro. Sorry. I mean, that's the first thing, man, he said, hey, man, you ain't called me.
It's okay, man. We're going to talk more in 2018.
Y'all, all of you have basically repeated a lot of the stuff that I wanted to say. I want to go back to, you know, DeMott's statement of positioning yourself. You know, because that leads me to say that when you position yourself to help other people as well. And, you know, your kids, your spouse, your whoever, if you can just start with yourself, everybody else will be all right. You know, oftentimes, you know, and that requires us to maybe step out and ask for help. It's okay. We come from generation of families where we got to tuck it in, and we don't want nobody to know we hurting and suffering, and you know, we don't want nobody to know how bad we doing, but we got to get out of that. Help is out here, and it's available, especially right here on this platform.
Absolutely.
Getting your home, getting your car, getting your credit together, that's where it starts at.
Yeah.
All those things are requirements.
Right.
And everything else will roll into place if you can just start with your financial stability. You know, and you know, and your kids will be all right, the family will be all right, and your marriage might be all right. We don't know.
Professionals need help too, though. Remember that.
Professionally, it will help you. I ain't gonna be a preacher today, but we just want to say thank you to all of our viewers for rocking with us this year. This year has been phenomenal for us. We've learned so much. Just, you know, I don't know if y'all realize, but we are in here as guests as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you guys come give us the knowledge and sit and we ask you questions, we just as dumbfounded as anybody, and we represent the viewers. So we sit in here and we appreciate everybody that's had a chance to come on the gray area and kick knowledge. And it's all voluntary. Nobody makes a dime from this. You know what I'm saying? We're all supporting each other. We're all in here utilizing our time to give back and to help other people. And that's exactly what this is for.
It is.
So we plan on doing that, doing this for many, many more years to come. Especially 2018 is going to be major.
Yes.
There's some major announcements and some major things happening coming in 2018, and we'll keep you guys updated on those. Just keep rocking with us, keep sharing our feeds, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
One.
Who said one?
Right.
Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you. Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've